Fixed it. Woo! That was real emotion you guys just heard from me right there. That was real emotion. I did not have a lot of faith in. I didn't think it was gonna work. Feliz Navidad, prospero año y felicidad.
Oh, Jesus.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas.
Look, I have a Snoopy sweater on.
Yes, you do. It's cold as shit. Actually, I need to turn off my heater. It's
It's
gonna get
cold
too
in
warm.
Arizona. It's like 50.
Yeah,
We're
hold
like,
on.
it's freezing.
Sorry, it was gonna get a little warm in here. Yeah, it's winter in Arizona. 50s, 50s. Hold my beer, says Vermont. Vermont's not real. Facts. I still don't believe that
Vermont?
Vermont. It's not real. It's not a real place. I'm
The
certain
state of
of it.
Vermont is not real.
Well,
Okay.
you have.
That's
I've been to
it's new.
Vermont. I've been to Vermont, and I
I've
still like.
skied there.
Okay,
Killington, I think.
rich.
That's in Vermont, right?
Jeez. I don't know.
I
Well,
love to ski.
I'm trying to
You
think.
grew up in
Montpelier.
Utah. You don't ski?
I hated skiing. My family skied. I hated it. I think it's nonsense. I don't understand it at all. Utah was not a place that I should have been raised.
I agree. For many reasons.
Just sit there awkwardly. Uh, New logo, by the way. Right there, right over there.
I want
Whisper
my
killed it.
name on mine. Yeah,
You want your
Whisper
name
did
on it?
this. Yeah, like rather than your stupid thing. Just kidding.
Excuse me.
Rather
How
than
dare
your
you?
name.
How dare you? Well, that's not my name's not RTP.
It is in my head.
I've been reading through. You sent me the Scott Perry. Well, you sent me an article from what was it, Washington Post. By the way, can I tell you something I hate about
Was it from
Apple?
the post?
It was Washington Post. Like I
Yes.
pay for
Yes,
Apple
go ahead.
News, which means I have like all the
I don't.
subscriptions.
Fuck that.
Well, that's the way to do
Do
it
you
because
get
it's
yours?
way
You
cheaper.
get. I didn't know that until now. So, because I pay. Well, no, it depends.
Yeah, I get
I gotta
everything.
do the math on that. So you get New York Times under Apple. Then maybe I should be doing that. Never
Let
mind.
me tell you what I get. I don't know. Yeah, you get so for me, you get Fox, which is important. You
But
get New
like,
York.
isn't Fox stuff free? Like, what are you
I
talking
was just
about?
kidding.
Okay.
Um, well, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I know that it gives me like Slate. Is that free?
I have no idea. Just
I don't know.
whatever
It
you're
gives me
talking
a
about.
lot
We'll
of
figure it out
stuff.
later.
Yeah, it gives me Washington Post. Problem is, when you send me something, I can't open it in my Apple
Oh, then you
News.
have to go find it.
So yeah, every time you send me something, then I have to go search it. So I found this from maybe it was Politico, the Scott Perry text, but then I actually went in and I was reading the actual court documents. It's fucking. Let me just read you one that is
No, you did
crazy.
more research than me. I just read most of the New York Times article.
Okay, so these are some
You know what's
some
crazy is how these people talk like deluded Christian. You know, like the crazed Christian
100% where I'm going.
rhetoric is
100%.
insane. Yeah. That's
100% where I'm going. So, first of all, this was between Patrick Schilling and Scott Perry. Patrick Schilling said Biden picked Mike Reagan for EPA. By the way, isn't Mike Reagan Ronald Reagan's son or something? Or
yeah,
he's
something
related?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the North Carolina Department Administrator for the Democrat governor. Uh, and then he said, better than Mary Nichols, but a communist nonetheless. Like, nobody,
We all are.
there's not a Republican who knows what communism is. Not one.
Not a one. Not
Not
a
a
one.
single one.
That's
So
fine.
they're talking about this was the data that they were looking for voter registrations. And
Wait, hold on.
this,
You don't introduce what you're talking about. We're talking, there's
fuck,
an
sorry.
article about Scott Perry. There's unredacted text came out in court documents. You know how they seized Scott Perry's cell phone and then he's been fighting under the speech and debate clause to not have his text messages be admissible in court. And they made an appeals court go through every single text message one by one and decide whether or not it's protected under the speech and debate clause or not. And then unredacted posted a bunch of these text messaging court documents and then hours later they were redacted again, but of course people have them now.
and who is Scott Perry?
He is a congressman in the
From
Freedom Caucus. Where is he from? Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania, 4th District, yeah.
Yeah.
In the Free Dumb Caucus. So one of the things that he uses Thread Reader. I don't know what Thread Reader is. Do you know what that is? I keep
No,
seeing
I
it
don't
with
know what
like
that is.
conservative. It's got to be some sort of conservative app or something. I don't know. But this is one of the things that he sent. U.S. election data was forwarded from Frankfurt, Germany, to Rome, Italy, where the man pictured below partnered with members of MI6, the CIA, and the Italian defense contractor Leonardo. Just Leonardo, one fucking name, Leonardo.
Who knows who that
That's a
is?
that's a Ninja Turtle. That's not an Italian defense contractor. That's a Ninja Turtle. Led the operation and built the algorithms that were used to steal the election. So this is an actual sitting congressman, like sending to other people in the White House administration these conspiracy theories that election data was forwarded from, again, Frankfurt to Rome, where the man, it doesn't show the man pictured below unless, I don't know, if this is the man pictured below, it's like, it's a black man in, like, it appears Roman war garb, like that crazy war, like the headdress thing. I don't know what you call that. But they also partnered with MI6, presumably James Bond, and the Italian defense contractor known only by his first name, Leonardo. And they built the algorithms to steal the election. So this whole thing is wild. I don't know what a lot of it
Yeah, there's
means.
stuff in here about like Scott Perry was trying to get Sidney Powell like on Fox News. Like his text to Jeffrey Clark, like he was like saying all these crazy, like far right evangelical talk to Jeffrey Clark, like God has ordained you to
Yes,
like,
read that part. That's what I'm looking for.
like I
Do you
need to
have that
find
up?
it. I need to
Okay,
find
I'll find it.
it's You are the man. I have confirmed it, Perry replied.
That
God
was the
does
one.
what he does for a reason. Like, please help us. Like, it's not even funny. We should not be laughing. This is
It's
terrifying.
so funny. Perry told
I'm
Clark,
praying the Justice, like Jeff Clark told Scott Perry in a text. I'm praying, who less than 2 weeks earlier had arranged for Clark to meet the president. Scott Perry arranged for that meeting with Jeff Clark. That's all up in the January 6th indictment. And
yeah.
and wonder if I'm worthy or ready.
That's
You are
my
the man. I
favorite.
have confirmed it. God does what he does for a reason. Like, help us.
I've read through all the documents from the Lori Vallow case. This is the same shit. This is Tim Ballard. This is Lori Vallow, and this is like half the GOP, where they think that they're actually on like some covert mission for God, and that God's ultimate plan is for
This is
Trump
how
to be
Ginny
president.
Thomas talks. This is how
Yes,
Ginny talks.
it's unbelievable. Where did we get? How did we get to the point where we have so many brainwashed Republicans? Good question. Here's the thing: they were always on the edge of this. What they needed somebody to validate it, and the only person that was going to validate it was an extreme narcissist who's like, "Yes, I am the one chosen by God." They've just been waiting for somebody to confirm that God was going to send them a leader because they're all fucking cucked to their church. They all are, and they're just told,
Religion
wait.
is a great place for the narcissists to hide.
It's
You know what I mean? And like, if when
so
you can
good.
say God has chosen me, you know what I mean? What more validation do you get as a narcissist? Like God's
Yeah,
chosen me. No one can question me. I speak to God directly, and then it becomes I am God. You know what I mean? Like down the road, it turns out surprise, I am God.
and if you watched my TikToks this morning, you'll know that God is also a fan of hip hop, and he speaks in hip
I
hop.
did. What was that?
I
You should play that.
Do you want me to play it? Her
Yeah,
rhymes. Yeah. So this
yeah.
was
That was.
this was. I
Explain who
thought
she is.
I don't really. I listen. I don't know that well who she is. What I was trying to find, the way I came across this is, I was trying to find the prophet that Tim Ballard has been talking to, and I thought this was her, but this is her. Now
Okay. Well,
I
that's
added the
introduction
beats.
enough.
I added the beats, but this is some crazy lady talking about how she talks to God. I went and I found her podcasts on or her videos. Hard to find on YouTube, easy to find on Rumble. I can tell you a
Everything.
couple of things.
God, Rumble is just a shit show. I
God
love it
is
on there. People, Boston Brian like gives me shit for paying for things behind the paywall on Rumble. I'm just like, if you knew what was behind there, you too would want to be back there.
Um, she here's what I do know about God according to her. He's very concerned about the vaccine. That's one of his biggest issues is the vaccine. And number two, he cares a lot about Donald Trump. Tell you something before I get to this. I need to tell you this. When I was the first time I got elected like a precinct chair with the GOP, they mixed up my dad's name and my name and our phone numbers. And I know for a fact that the GOP sells their phone number list to people who want to get you to sign up for some sort of Medicare scam. I get 20 calls a day for my dad to sign up for some sort of Medicare scam 20 times a day, and it's the only link to my dad's like my number and my dad's number. So I'm pretty sure it's the GOP. But here's some flow to get you going in the morning. Have to hear her
This is
flow.
some
Lord said, I
woman
like to
rapping for who?
rhyme because
MAGA?
it's a sign.
Oh, what was that? Here we go.
Is that this is some woman doing a MAGA rap? Correct.
She is a prophet. Her flow.
She's
You
a
have to
prophet.
hear her
Excuse
flow.
me.
The Lord said, I like to rhyme because it's a sign and it is divine. And it says, new season that I'm opening up the new wine. And those who are blind will now see, for this is the hour that I will give them a key. And this is the key to liberty. The Lord said, it's liberty and justice for all.
Turn it up.
Because the devil's kingdom is about to fall. And I'm going to bring my people into a ball, no longer to stall, but to bring them into a movement of light, where my people will unite and will come into a season called delight. What did I say in my word? Though it might look or seem absurd, the Lord said, this is the greatest move the world has ever seen. Awaken, my people. It's time. Let's dream.
First of all, I need to know what she means by the Lord bringing us into a ball. That's one of her rhymes. He will bring us into a ball.
She
I
doesn't
do
know.
want
She doesn't
I want to know what that means. I also like how she had to say instead of absurd, she had to do absurd.
That was a MAGA prophet rapping, in case anyone
Yeah.
needs to know.
Someone had a question.
Thanks, legal moron. I'm just kidding. Legally moron.
Is this who had a question? Somebody had
Hey,
a question.
RTP.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
Good.
I'm
How are
good.
you?
How are you, man?
Good.
I've been up here before, and I don't want to waste too much of your time, but I love what you do. I respect you a lot.
Thank you.
And last time I was on here, I talked to you a little bit about how I was concerned about, all of the charges brought against Trump, and how this would play out in the courts. And I've kind of like shifted away from being concerned about that because honestly, I don't think in the history of the United States anyone's ever like beaten 91 charges. I think that's how many are actually brought against him. Like at this point it's just a numbers game. So
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about that anymore, but what I'm kind of concerned about now is voter turnout. Like specifically for the Democrats, is that something that you could see being a potential issue, like with people just not getting out and voting? And what can we do to like get people to go out and vote?
Yeah, it's a big problem. It's something we should be very concerned about. There's a couple things. Number one, there's no question that Joe Biden's handling of Israel Palestine has been a massive flop for him. That's
Yeah.
caused but it was also if he would have said like if he would have sided with just Palestine, it also would have been a problem even for some moderate Democrats. There wasn't a way that he was going to win this battle. And I don't know what would have happened if he would have just largely stayed quiet about it. That's caused an issue. That will
Yeah.
likely be over by the time
I think a
election
large
season comes
issue
around.
too. I mean, I go to UCSD, so I'm on a public college campus, and so we have a lot of, like protests happen here. And there was actually
That's a nice public college campus.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
where Scott Perry went to school.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it's
You should
actually
be ashamed of
maybe,
yourself.
maybe I should consider transferring then. Uh-oh. Maybe
Yeah.
San Diego State's better. But so there's
No,
a
it's
lot of
not.
like
You know it's not.
I know there's a lot of protests of that nature. Um, and I think one of the main problems, and I'm not at all saying that like I know everything about the Middle East or anything like that, but I know that it is a very complex history, and I think there's a lot of like ignorance regarding the topic. But I think it also, and I was talking to a professor about this, and he brought up the idea of like the United States like media and how there is so much ignorance in the media, like not even with what's happening in the Middle East right now, but just with politics in general. Like they try to make things so sided because they want us divided. Like I think the media honestly pushes for division. Like they don't, there's just a lot of bias, and I think it's a lot easier for people to hear something and just accept it's true than it is for them to like be their own individual and actually go do research.
Hmm.
And like you brought up what's happening in Palestine, and that's just a perfect example because I can't, for me specifically, I regarding that, I can't take a side because I'm against the genocide of any group of people, whether it's the Jews in Israel or the people of Palestine. I'm against genocide of any group of people. So I can't like stand here and condone the genocide of one group while not condoning it for another. But I do think that going back to politics, that the media also plays a role in, especially like my generation. Like there's a lot of kids my age who are in their early 20s who are like me, and they go to college. They don't watch the news every day when they get home from work. They're not
Right.
really well informed. And so they just hear things that they see on Instagram or on TikTok. And then they go, oh, wow, I can't believe that happened. And it's like, you have to be so careful because it's so easy to manipulate and to proliferate information in a way to make it like sound a certain way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense. I agree with you. I think that there's like this generational gap that happened quickly between, like for Felice and I. Like we grew up always being at war. There was something going on like most of our life. Like we had Desert Storm, then it still wasn't settled. Then obviously we had 9/11, and then we were in Afghanistan from then on. So I know for me that my lack of knowledge on Israel and Palestine and the things that were happening was just like I had just gotten sick of hearing about war. I got sick of hearing about everything that was happening every single day in the Middle East, and I kind of just toned it out or tuned it out. And I think that for maybe younger generations, they're able to see that more clearly. It's all the younger people that have educated me on Israel and Palestine and Whisper, but I think you guys have a different perspective where you can look at things more as they are rather than how they've been. And for older generations, we look at things of how they've been, and
Exactly.
we're able to justify all that shit, right? Like we consistently ignore horrific things that happen because that's what's happened our entire life. There's been horrific things that our government and other governments have done, specifically all across the Middle East, and we just kind of learned to not care about that. And so when
Right.
it comes down to Israel Palestine, it's really easy for older generation to say, okay, who's the ally here? Israel. Israel's the ally. Got it. We're pro Israel. They must be the good guys. And I think it's I think it's more laziness than anything. I think it's status quo laziness, and people don't really want to ruffle any feathers. People don't want to dive any deeper. People don't want to go out on a
Right.
limb and take a chance and be like exactly what you said. Like it's not a crazy take to say like I'm anti-genocide, and yet very few people in our government are willing to stand up and just be like, "Hey, I'm anti-genocide.
And
Like
again,
I'm
like
just for the
I'm
innocent."
not trying to offend any person, but I do think it's really important to mention that like I don't think it's okay to condone, the genocide against one group of people while not condoning it for another group. Like I think it's not black and white. Like it's a very complex history. And I actually learned yesterday from my professor that, and there's a lot of kids my age who feel the same way, where it's like it's Hamas, it's Hamas, it's Hamas. But there's been so much conflict in the Middle East before Hamas even like came into being. Like there's been so much conflict. It's not like Hamas just came into existence and then boom, now there's just conflict. Like there's been conflict there for a long time. Hamas is just kind of something that branched from it, if that makes sense. But
Yeah, that
yeah,
was
I don't know.
funded by Israel. Israel is one
Right.
of the people that funded the rise of Hamas. I mean, it's absolutely true. I say, like, I got a history degree at university, and I had
Oh,
no
that's
idea
awesome.
what was going on in terms of foreign policy until that point. Like, literally everything. And I took AP, IB classes in high school, all the advanced ones you can take, got college credit for them, and had no idea what the US's role in foreign, like, in terms of our forward military positions was about. I mean, I think the role, it's not about blaming Biden though, or blaming a Republican president. It's about capitalism, right?
Yep.
When you live in an economic system
Yep.
that requires exponential growth, exponential new resources being fed into that system, this is the result of that. So like I think, yeah, RTP and I grew up very differently. Like I I'm not I'm not desensitized to it. I don't like you're saying. I agree with what you're saying. I don't support any genocide, but like I think the death of Henry Kissinger, which I do want to go over. I mean, this man was the architect of genocide after genocide after genocide, and because we didn't have things like social media and Twitter and couldn't see real time on the ground from people what was going on, we people had no knowledge of that Henry Kissinger could not leave and go to many countries because he would have been snatched up and tried for international war crimes. Like this man was a butcher, and no one knows. And when I mean, he has decades upon decades of butchering people in
No,
small
he was a
little
hero. He was
lesser,
a
yeah,
hero for
but he's a
decades.
hero here, and
Yeah, he yeah.
it just goes to show you what we are taught here
And
is not the reality in the rest of the world. And
right.
I recommend everybody go live outside of this country for a year so you can figure out what's going on.
And again, I want to emphasize that I know I'm only 24, and I'm sure a lot of people like watching the live right now and in the comments are older than me, and so they're probably like, this kid's super annoying and doesn't know what he's talking about. But I think it's important that like people that are my age and my generation like do things like this so that they can be well informed, because I think what's going to lead a lot of people to not vote is lack of information, just not being educated enough to feel like you can make a confident like vote, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
The thing is you guys are like the fresh set of eyes, and you have more access to information, to opposing stories, to global stories, to global opinions than we did. So in a way, you guys are kind of the first generation that's looking through this without a jaded lens or a tinted lens. Like you guys can actually see this without the bias that you grew up with. So in a lot of ways, I've found as I've looked for information, as I've looked for content creators that I like on these subjects, it generally is much younger people who have a more nuanced view of this situation. And that's, again, it's just how we've been conditioned. We were conditioned to think Henry Kissinger was a good guy. We were conditioned to think that okay, 9/11 happened, so we have to go blow up the whole fucking Middle East. And it was like 90% of our country's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. It wasn't unpopular. There were very few people that stood against it. So in a way, you're the most important voice. You're the voice that needs to be heard.
And I've
So
been told
yeah.
that by like adults and by people in older generations that like it really is like our generation that's going to make a difference. But it's important to mention that like people like you, RTP, and people like you, Felice, are like honestly the people that allow the younger generation to like share their voice, because I think there's a lot of people my age who feel like they're kind of silenced, and they're viewed as, stupid, and they're viewed as like not understanding things and incapable of understanding things. And it's really helpful to have like adults like you like almost empower us and like give us a voice in a way, because it's like it's very validating. It's like, yeah, we know that you're like half our age, but like you still contribute. Like we all each have one vote, no matter what our age is and how much we understand about politics. So it's nice to have like the older generation also encouraging my generation to like share their voice and also go out and vote.
Yeah, you guys have more energy. Get
It's
it
it's like a
done.
team effort.
Fix this for us. Fix it, would you?
Yeah.
It is a no, it is a team effort. And I don't like when people say fix this for us. It is not their job. Like we're not creating all these problems and dumping it off on them. Like every person in this country needs to be conscious of what's going on and needs to fight to pull this country back left. Like we cannot do it alone. or they cannot do it alone. No generation can do any of this alone. It's all of our responsibility to fight.
Absolutely. Well, I'll let you guys talk about something else. I really appreciate you letting me come up.
No, thank
Um,
you.
RTP, you're an amazing guy. Keep doing what you're doing, dude.
Thank you.
Felice, you're an amazing woman. Keep doing what you do. You guys
Thanks.
are changing the world one life at a time. So
Appreciate it. Thank
I
you.
hope you guys have a great day.
Awesome.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.
All right, there we go. Little red meat for me. A little bit of sunshine in my soul to kick things off. I'm gonna go back to the stories that you were sharing with me. First of
Well,
all,
yeah.
to
Can I read Henry Kissinger's crimes?
please, please.
Well, because I think I sent you a New York Times article about it, but if you read down in that article, and I screenshotted some of it because it's a pretty long article, but they did list some of the things I'm talking about. Like one of the worst things, like, I disappeared into South America. I've done a lot of historical studying in college about the U.S. intervention in South America. Henry Kissinger was the one responsible for trying to do a coup in Chile. Salvador Allende, the socialist president of Chile. Henry Kissinger tried to unalive him and do a military coup there. That happened. He's often called crudely Machiavellian. If you don't know what Machiavellian is, it's a form of, like, let's say, psychopathic sadism. So he's been accused of breaking international law with the carpet bombing of Cambodia in 1969 to
Can you explain
1970.
for people who don't know carpet bombing? There's been a lot of carpet bombing talk today. Can you there's a lot of people
No,
confusing what Kissinger did with what I've done
let's
in
look
my
it up
past.
because I don't stop. I was gonna say, is this a joke that is this about your own Levy? I want to look up the exact definition because I don't want to get carpet bomb.
It's basically just like you saturate. So like you're gonna send in a bunch of
Yeah,
bombs, and they're not that
intensively. It just says
directional.
intensive. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not
So
directional. You're just like, it's not targeted at all. You're just laying a blanket down.
right.
Like this was a genocide of the Cambodians.
Like maybe your
Essentially.
intended target was something else, and you got in the vicinity of it, and then you just made a big mess. That's carpet bombing.
And like the quote was, anything that flies or anything that moves, kill them.
Yeah.
And it said he killed around like 50,000 in that. Then with his, like, the Pakistan's U.S. backed military was waging there was a genocidal war in East Pakistan where he's believed to be responsible for at least 300,000 people that were killed in East Pakistan and 10 million refugees that were driven into India. Great guy. And then one of the famous ones is East Timor, which was at the time a Portuguese colony. They had a leftist, the evil leftist government of East Timor. And it's believed their declassified documents from Mr. Ford's presidential library, more than 100,000 East Timorese were killed or starved to death.
Yeah.
Then the New York Times didn't even go into Angola and what he did there. Again, that ended up going on for decades, and there's hundreds of thousands of deaths. Over 70,000 limbs were lost. Like, I mean, it's the largest, like, unfixed. What do you call it when you demine a minefield? Like, it's still to this day,
Unmine.
yeah, one of the largest minefields, like, in the world that hasn't been cleared.
By the way, he also received a Nobel Peace Prize
Oh, and I was gonna
for
say, Nobel Peace
negotiating a
Prizes mean nothing.
ceasefire. Yeah, like
Negotiating
he
a
fucked
ceasefire
up
while
everybody
murdering-
all around the world, carpet bombed,
Swept the minefield. Thank
yeah,
you.
and then was like, "Hey, you get a Nobel Peace Prize for negotiating a
Yeah,
ceasefire."
you get
in
a Nobel
Vietnam.
Peace Prize while you have like 5 active genocides going on.
Right.
Here
Also,
you go.
also in Vietnam, where like we were getting demolished. Like it's probably a
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
easy negotiation. Like, hey, we're gonna stop shooting. Will you guys? And they were like, yeah. Will you leave? And we're like, yeah. And then we left, and that's what happened.
I
But
just
do you-
wanted to give you guys a quote that he's famous for. I'll leave you this subject of Henry Kissinger the Butcher with this. The illegal we do immediately, he quipped more than once. The unconstitutional takes a little longer. Henry Kissinger,
Yeah.
everyone.
Do you know the name Asticky?
No,
A new
what?
legend was born today. Asticky, Asticky.
No,
This is
I
a
don't
story
know
you
what
may
that
have missed because you follow real journalism and not Twitter journalism. But
I love Twitter journalism, though.
yes, there was a Wikipedia editor who was the first to change Kissinger's profile, and you can't change it too much, right? Because people notice. So let me just read you what the profile read this morning early.
Someone said, "Was
First
that
of
your
all,
carpet's name?"
did
A
you know?
sticky. Did you hear me? That was funny. Whoever said that.
Yeah. First of all, his name's not Henry. His name's Heinz. Did you know that?
Yeah,
Heinz
he's
Alfred
born. He's
Kissinger.
German
Yeah.
born fellow.
It was an American diplomat, political scientist, geopolitical consultant, and politician who served as United States Secretary of State and National Security Advisor under the presidential administrations of Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford. Kissinger received the 1973 Nobel Peace Prize for his work negotiating a ceasefire in Vietnam. He is currently burning in hell for his war crimes. And that stayed up on Wikipedia for a few hours.
That's why he
And
had to
so,
cling to life for so long. He knew where he was going.
yeah, a Sticky was hero today. And Sticky was also the name of my carpet, and all you guys can fuck off. Every one of you.
That's hilarious. Did
We,
you want-
we do
yeah.
have a chirper that's Dan is chirping in the comments. Dan is going to be invited up. Dan,
Oh
you're
wait,
welcome to come
before
up
that,
if
you
you'd like.
guys, let's tap the screen by 10:30. Let's tap the screen. Let's get to 50,000. And share the live. Share the live with your favorite or least favorite Republicans so we can chat with them. But yeah,
So-
definitely tap the screen so we can get to the For You page and get some more Republicans in the requests.
Dan might not have been the chirper. Dan said, "Isn't that what RTP did when he carpet bombed? He didn't intend to do it." Yeah, that was Dan. Sorry, Dan. I maligned you as a chirper, but instead you're just an excellent commenter. So, burn in hell, Henry Kissinger. I always said Kissinger. Is it Kissing? Kissinge?
Kissinger.
That's stupid.
Kissinger.
That's
It's,
so
I mean, it's
stupid.
the same spelling.
It's dumb. I don't like that one bit. All right, what was your next story? Oh, yeah, this is the one. I'm shocked I haven't heard this from David yet. Which of the stories today do you think David is going to make a video on?
I don't know. I have way more. What
The
story are
story
you
that you
talking
sent,
about
of the
specifically?
stories that you sent.
Well, I know, but I have way more stories bookmarked. So tell me which one you're talking about.
BLM co-founder who endorsed Trump.
Oh God, this is the worst. Have you guys
That's
heard
all
about
I
this?
thought when I
There's
saw
also a New
this.
York Times story on this, but I send you the Midas Touch one because they're easier to read for your brain.
This is shut up. This is what I hate. These are the types of stories that I see, and I'm like, God damn it! I'm gonna have to hear about
No,
this
this
for
is
2
a
weeks.
big deal.
I'm gonna
So
have to
this
correct
guy,
this for 2 weeks.
oh yeah, it's never gonna end. But it's genius. It's just how we say Trump's an excellent marketer, right? Like
Yeah.
this man who was thrown out of the Black Lives Matter chapter, like he formed his own, it's called Black Lives Matter Inc., right? And like that's okay, so he like made a business called Black Lives Matter Inc., and now Trump is getting his endorsement. So everyone thinks that Black Lives Matter has endorsed Trump.
And let's just be clear on how not Black Lives Matter this motherfucker is.
Yeah,
One,
this man is not a good man.
he worked for BLM Rhode Island. He did file the articles of incorporation, but he
A year later, he was off them, though.
right. The other thing is now that he's left BLM Inc. Now this is obviously somebody who cares a lot about Black lives.
No,
Very
BLM
important.
Inc. is the new one.
The other one was called BLM Rhode Island PAC. Sorry, it was BLM Rhode Island PAC. Now it's BLM Inc. Thank you. But this is somebody who obviously is there for the cause. He's fighting for equality for Black lives, and we know this because the second he left BLM Super PAC Rhode Island or whatever it was, he endorsed Trump and then immediately went on a speaking tour, defending the people who have been arrested on January 6th. By the way, not black. Almost none of them black. Enrique Tarrio says he's black. I don't know if he is.
No, he's
or-
Cuban.
Yeah, he's cute, right? He doesn't give a fuck about Black Lives Matter. Here's my guess, and I think that this happens a lot. If you are somebody who historically hasn't voted for Republican, if you are a member of the LGBTQ community, if you are a person of color, if you are an atheist, if you are a socialist, and you are hard up for money, immediately turn yourself into a pro-Trump character, and people will follow you regardless of how dumb you are. I would give to you Exhibit A, Jesse Lee Peterson. You know who Jesse Lee Peterson is?
No, tell me.
You don't know? Oh my God!
I
Let me
probably do. Just tell me. What
let me
What are
give
you
you some.
talking about?
Jesse Lee Peterson is a podcaster. Uh, he. Let me give you a Jesse Lee Peterson short. Here we go. This is Jesse Lee Peterson.
Ever been married?
Well, you can marry in my church.
Oh, you can?
You sure?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, my church is gay friendly. I can marry a man.
You
in
can
my
marry a
church.
man?
In my church.
Have you
yeah.
ever done it?
I've officiated at the marriage.
But you never married one.
No, I've never been married.
Oh, okay. No children or anything?
No.
Do you regret not getting married, having children now that you're older?
Well, and I'm gay.
You're gay?
Yes.
You don't look gay.
We come in all shapes and sizes, brother.
So you're gay?
I'm gay.
I didn't know you were gay.
Yes, well, I just told you.
How did you become gay?
One doesn't become gay. One is born that way.
Does God know you're gay?
I believe so.
Did he make you that way?
That's my opinion.
You think that God made you gay?
I have no, I don't know I'm not going to be.
It's Jesse Lee Peterson. If you ever want
That's
some
the podcast host that was talking? What?
yeah, that's what he's like. He's had like David Pakman on his show. He's had Vosh. I think he may have had Hassan. He just assumed David Pakman was gay, which is a phenomenal episode of Jesse Lee Peterson. And look, there's people in here that are like, he's the man. This is exactly what I'm talking about. None of that none of that was good commentary. None of that was a good interview. It was just Jesse Lee Peterson shocked that a pastor was gay. He was like, what? And that's what his show is. But Jesse Lee Peterson happens to be a person of color, and so Jesse Lee Peterson is a hero among white conservatives because it adds validity to anything that they say that's racist. It's the Candace Owens thing. Is Candace Owens really smart? Not
Yeah.
particularly. Dave
Okay, I see what
Rubin.
you're saying. So now there's Mark Fisher, a
Yeah.
man who has been disassociated from every Black Lives Matter chapter around him, and has formed Black Lives Matter Inc. so that Trump can fool people into thinking he's being endorsed by Black Lives Matter, who he previously said, like the title of the Washington Post article about this, Trump tries to embrace Black Lives Matter, a group he previously said, quote, hates our country. Like,
Well, here's the other.
it's just like, does-
That's the part about him though. Like, it would be fine. I'm not trying to say that you can't be like a member of any of those communities and vote for Trump. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. But if you're gonna do it and you're gonna speak like you're from that community, then it seems like you would address things that happen in your community. It would seem that you would address things that directly affect your community. And this guy left BLM and immediately went to go defend the January 6th insurrectionists. Like, that had nothing to do with him.
He's tours
It's not
around
the community.
defending J6.
If you're Black Lives Matter, if that's your whole thing, if it's Black Lives Matter and you're going around not talking about Black lives at all, then you're just a grifter. And that's what it is an easy way to make money. I've said it before. If times get really, really hard for me and you start hearing me say pro-Trump things, like, I just needed a little bit of money, okay? Because if I made a switch, I could make a lot more money. I could start a podcast right now, and I could go hang out with Dave Rubin and what's old beanie Tim Pool, and we could have a great time saying absolutely nothing and getting paid by the truckload.
Absolutely. Guys, let's keep tapping the screen and share the live. And if not, push the copy link because that counts as sharing. But please invite some more Republicans. If you are a Republican in the comments and would like to have a chat with us or have us ask you some questions, I think that worked well. I think people from MAGA like us to interview them.
Is somebody's
What are
name?
you talking about? Is this Discord stuff?
No, this is in the comments here from Allyman. Is somebody's name? Did somebody change their name to RTP? I sharded and didn't wipe. Do we have somebody?
This is all from last night. This is what you did last night in the Discord. This is probably continuing on from the nightmare that happened. Oh, you got a hat from Truth Seeker Our friend from yesterday. How
Yay!
sweet.
Thank you for the hat and the mustache. I already had a mustache, but now I've got two.
He loves your mustache.
Thank you. Yeah, listen, last night was not my fault. I did a couple silly things. I thought it was, but then most of the changes were Whisper. He came in and he hijacked my shtick, and then I went to bed. So when everybody was named Ted Cruz in our Discord, by the way, how about this boomer figuring out some technology? How about that? I could. Oh,
Yeehaw.
you do look
Thank
nice with the
you.
mustache. You actually look really good with the mustache.
Thanks. That
That's a
looked
good look for you.
exactly like yours too. We were like twins. I'm gonna get like one of those fake ones you could glue on and just wear
The
it.
Groucho Marx. But don't you think? I just feel like I thought you were going to show up today and be like, "Hey, Jay, I'm really proud of you for figuring out Discord. I'm really proud of you
Changing
for
every person's name of the Discord and causing mass pandemonium.
yeah." Well, at first nobody knew what was going on. Then it got destructive.
My
but
name was Judas.
that was me
Yeah.
That was me.
Why? My name
because
was
you were
Judas.
supporting the insurrectionists. I felt betrayed by you. You always come in and support the insurrectionists. You never support me. It's always the insurrectionists.
Hey, I know which way the wind's blowing. You know
You
what I'm
are
saying?
you are Mark, whatever his name is. You are BLM Inc.
Mark Fisher. I'm
Yeah, you're
BLM
Mark
Inc.
Fisher. That's you. I'm gonna change your name to Mark Fisher in there from
Please
now on.
don't. I'm long-suffering commie right now. That's what.
Sorry about that. I do think that nobody can change my name.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Otherwise, it would have happened. But I don't think my name is changeable.
I don't push buttons in the Discord. I could barely make it to the general chat section.
I push buttons sometimes, and usually it breaks something. But not last night. Last night things went well.
Okay, hold on. We need to talk about. Speaking of traitors, George Santos. You guys, if you guys haven't checked out my TikTok
He's an MVP.
profile,
He's the Republican MVP right
today. Most shameful Republican goes to George Santos for his shameful 19-minute presser in front of Capitol Hill about the third expulsion vote is upcoming. It's not. I don't think it's scheduled for today. I think it's supposed to be tomorrow. His third expulsion vote, at which. When he finally opened it up for questions, like first thing, George Santos, don't let the reporters ask you questions. What are you thinking? And someone asked him basically if he stole his shoes. Because he had like Ferragamo shoes. He had Ferragamo shoes on his feet, and someone's like, "Well, did you steal those shoes? Did you use campaign funds to buy those shoes?" Like,
Those
I
are the
mean,
same
every
type of
part of it was
shoes.
just him whining. Here, I have a couple
Wait,
of clips. I can
those
play
are the
you
same type of shoes that Patrick Bet David tried to give to Ron DeSantis. I don't know what Ferragamo is.
It's it's a luxury Italian brand, fine leather goods.
I'll check it out. I was gonna go today to the Skechers outlet and
Night
see.
Helmet. I never get those. I love that.
I was gonna go to Skechers outlet today to get some new shoes, so maybe I'll see if there's
Are
a
you joking
Ferragamo.
or are you serious? That's serious.
Oh my God! A pair of slippers are $1,000 at Ferragamo.
Yeah, that's
These-
what I'm trying
these
to tell
shoes
you.
look like
Fine
shit,
leather
too.
goods, like high, and Ferragamo is a luxury brand, like more luxury than like Louis Vuitton.
If I saw any of these shoes at a store, there's not a single one of these shoes I would wear. Now I don't have style.
Okay, just
but
be
I
quiet.
would not wear any. All right,
First
sorry.
time I give you a question.
Is anything you're currently wearing bought with campaign funds?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Is anything that you're currently wearing bought with campaign funds right now? Like your shoes?
No,
Ferragamo?
no, nothing. Absolutely nothing. These are 6 years old. I'm sorry? Go on the website. These are 6 years old. Go ahead.
It's hilarious.
Uh,
Hilarious.
The fact that he knows how old his shoes are is pretty impressive.
No, come on, he doesn't.
I love George Santos. I am gonna miss
He
him.
just lies so freely. Like, he doesn't know what he's saying is true. His argument, one of his defenses during this shameful 19-minute press conference is like, Jabal Bowman pulled the fire alarm, and he's firing off a resolution to expel Jabal Bowman today.
George Santos
That's what he
is?
said. Yes. Yes.
I will go down with this
That's
ship.
part of what he said. Listen to this. Hold on. There's just so many.
Going ahead and putting out a slanderous report, unprecedented. Nobody here's ever seen ethics reports of any other members who's been under investigation. But yet again, changing precedent for me, it seems that it's all fair game. So there we go. They go ahead and release this report littered in hyperbole, littered in opinion that would have no decent cop would bring this to a prosecutor or a DA and say, here's our report, go ahead and charge him. Right?
Yeah,
So this is what the ethics committee put out. God bless them and what they think they're doing and what their work is. I believe they do good work when it's relevant, but
I love it, every good cop that got. First of all, I don't know any. I one time brought the police in Mesa, and I will shit on them once again. Every police officer in Mesa, whoever your leadership is, they're dog shit. I once brought the Mesa PD an
the
entire
Mesa
case.
cops are the worst. Haven't they
Including-
unalived the most people, minorities in Arizona of any police department?
Yeah,
The
I
Mesa
brought
police
them-
are out of control.
I brought them the proof of what was something was stolen. I recovered the stolen property, found out who stole the property, had a picture of them, their name, their address. I had a video of those people in the neighborhood stealing things. I had the person who bought the stolen goods from them with their phone number, willing to testify. I took it to Mesa PD, and they're like, "We can't do anything with this. Sorry, there's
Was it
nothing
a
we can do
minority?
here."
'Cause
Oh,
if
the
not,
crime.
they're not interested.
The crime happened in Mesa. The suspect was in Mesa. The equipment was back in Mesa. All of the things were done. I did the whole thing for them. And then they're like, sorry, we can't do anything about that. So, with all due respect to George Santos, this case is his argument that no good police officer would take this case is kind of saying like police officers don't take cases that are solved. Because this
he's
case
just
is
yelling
solved.
anything. He has no idea.
We've known the outcome for a long time. The only reason he's still in Congress is because they need his votes. It's not because people think that he's innocent. And by the way, let's point out once again, the motherfucker who kicked this whole thing off, the only man in Washington with a conscience, Mitt Romney. Remember when George Santos was sworn in and he was walking down
At the
shaking
State
hands
of the
with
Union.
people? And he's like, here, Mitt.
At the
And Mitt
State
just
of the
looked-
Union.
Yeah, and Mitt just looked at him.
No,
He's
at
like,
the
"You should
State
be
of the
ashamed."
Union, yeah. When he
Don't
he
correct
had the
my
nerve to
story.
get like an aisle seat when President Biden was like walking down for the State of the Union, and Mitt Romney was one of the ushers that got to walk President Biden in, and he like had a standoff. Yeah.
Yeah,
with
he said
George
you should be
Santos.
ashamed of yourself. That's what he
Yeah.
said.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
go slink away in the bag. Like what are you doing right here? I love a flower crown. Thank you.
Mitt Romney is unbelievable. He is everything the right thinks Henry Kissinger was. He's a hero. He's a national treasure. He's a hero. He should be the first
That press
non-president
conference
on
should
Mount
go
Rushmore.
down in like some sort. I mean, it was just absolutely ridiculous. And like other news outlets are reporting that as like he's doing this press conference and other like Congress people are like walking into work, they're just yelling like, "This is BS," walking by.
What do you think what do you think George Santos does next? Is he Fox News? Not Fox
Oh yeah,
News.
some sort of something.
OAN,
He's not. I mean, this
Newsmax?
what he always. Yeah.
Here's my options. Here's
Yeah.
what I think. It's OAN, it's
What-
Newsmax, it's YouTube,
So tough
or
though. Is he a little bit too much of a proven criminal?
or he goes rogue and becomes a Democrat. Because I think
Oh, I
he's
don't
kind
think-
of,
I think
I
he's
think he's
highly
kind of
likely.
bitchy, and I think he's a little bit vindictive, and I could
No,
see
his
him
home is
turning on
with
the
the
Republicans.
Republicans. The wrongfully accused. I was railroaded. Like that is the narrative. Thank you for the crown. I love flower crowns. That's the narrative that he can operate under and remain in some ways legitimate. But he's got how many felonies did they charge him with now? Like 25. Like he's
Next
got a
season of
problem on his
RuPaul
hands.
Drag Race, I could see that. Yeah, that would
He
be.
would be. Oh, Kitara, his alter ego. He could do that too.
Is that his alter ego name,
Yeah.
Kitara?
He's made for TV.
Oh, I
what?
love him.
That's his
I
name.
honestly, I kind of
Penny
love him.
Lights. Thank
if
you.
if he unloads dirty laundry like he's promised, if he has dirty laundry and he unloads, he's going to be.
Oh,
he's gonna
that's
be
the
my
other thing. That was
number
part of
two
the
behind Mitt
conference.
Romney.
He says that he like if when he gets expelled, he's gonna air people's dirty laundry. And like yesterday, I was gonna play a clip yesterday, or it was from an article I wanted to mention, but Harriet Hagman, who's like the replacement for Liz Cheney in Montana or whatever, or Wyoming,
Wyoming,
where
Montana, or
Wyoming.
whatever.
Say
Yeah.
whatever. A swan. Thank you so much, Sue. You give me the best presents. Yeah. So she was just like, "Go ahead. Everything he's saying is a lie. None of this has happened. Like, put up or shut up. Like, show what you have." But like, it's like you obviously have no idea what's going on, because I'm sure that George Santos does have knowledge of a bunch of shady things other Republicans have done. The question is just like, is he a kamikaze enough to do it? Like, he's unhinged.
He
He's
definitely
certainly
is.
unhinged.
He's definitely kamikaze enough to do it.
He has promised, if he's expelled, to ruin several other Republicans' lives.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Guys, tap the screen. Let's get to 75K before 10:30 so we can stay on schedule. I'm just making sure everyone likes you a lot.
Thank you.
No
Do you
problem.
know this story? There's a strange story in the NBA, but I wanted to talk about it. Do you know about Josh Giddey?
No, do tell.
Josh Giddey is an Australian-born NBA player. He plays in Oklahoma City, and there is something strange going on in Oklahoma City. Now,
Yes, isn't there always?
always. Now, Josh Giddey, some videos leaked from a girl at the time was 15 years old, and it was, I believe, a Snapchat, and the video said, "I just fucked Josh Giddey." That's what the Snapchat was, and it's
Wait,
her.
is this the guy? Is this the guy that was going around with like juniors in high school?
Apparently. So it's him with his shirt
For
off.
the hat.
This story broke. Josh Giddey played the next night. They didn't bench him. The organization has come out and said, "We know about this. We're not concerned about it." So now the story is changing. This is where things get weird in fucking red states. Okay, all you red staters that care about kids, shut the fuck up forever. Josh Giddey is now saying that she lied about her age, which is not a reason to not charge somebody. Now, he's like 20, 21. He's not an older NBA player.
Yeah, he's like
But
21 years old, and this girl was allegedly a junior, so like 16, 17.
but the age of consent in Oklahoma City, or in Oklahoma, is 16. So he's technically,
Yeah.
if he didn't do anything till she was 16, technically in the clear. So I just want to point out to Oklahoma and to all the red states so many red states have very, very young age of consents. This will continue. I don't know where this story goes. It looks like he's going to be off the hook, but if you're going to be an NBA player and you want to go after younger women, I would suggest going to a red state to play, somewhere like Oklahoma. So, anyways, that's what's happening.
That's gross. Yeah.
And you have people here. It's been weird too, like people saying that Josh Giddey is the victim now because the girl lied. I don't know. It's a real strange story. But Republicans, get your shit together and raise your age of consent. Stop making your age of consent
What do you think
15
the
to
age of
16.
consent should be? 18?
It definitely should be 18. And if you're gonna do, I don't know what you do. Like maybe you have a window. It gets tricky when somebody's
Well,
like
there is
17
in
and
some
19.
states.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there
you need
are
that
in some
window.
states. Like if you're within 2 or 3 years of age, then it's it's like different consideration versus if it's like a 32-year-old and like a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
It's tough, you know.
Anyways, that was a Josh Giddey story. I wanted to cover that. Did we cover all yours?
I mean, I have. Hold on, let me make sure. I have other. Let's see. Let me delete some of these. George Santos. Oh, one other thing I just want to cover is
Hold up.
Marge.
Hold up. Did
What?
Mehdi Hassan did they cancel Mehdi Hassan's show?
I'm so angry if this is happening. What
This
are
happened.
you talking about?
Cenk Uygur said MSNBC canceled
Is it
Mehdi
because
Hassan's
he
show
kept
because, of
trying
course, they
to
did.
say things about the Palestine and they wouldn't let him? I noticed he was definitely being like censored and silenced about Palestine.
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. He's being canceled though.
Like, is this news today? I didn't see that when I was.
Yeah, I'm seeing
I love Mehdi
young-
Hassan.
Young Turks are both. Emma
Awesome.
Vigeland from
Or however you say
Majority
it.
Report's reporting it.
Someone said he's not fired though. Someone's saying that.
No, just his
Did they just
show.
cancel his show? Oh, and he's still like a correspondent.
Yeah, and a
His
fill-in
show
host.
is amazing. That's
He's the best person in journal. Like he's the most like
yeah.
active journalist. Like he actually
There's
acts
no
like a journalist.
justice. I know,
Did you
so
listen?
intelligent, amazing debater. He should probably run for office.
Yeah. By the way, just a recommendation for everybody. What's the other guy on MSNBC? The white guy. What's his name? I really like him. Ari Melber.
Yeah, love Ari.
Ari Melber interviewed
A
Bob
successful
Woodward.
trial attorney. Loves
He
hip hop.
interviewed Bob Woodward, and it's phenomenal. The Bob Woodward interview with Ari Melber is awesome. I listened to it
Ari
yesterday.
Melber does real investigative journalism, like finds his own leads. You know what I mean? Like he's like an old school journalist. I love Ari Melber. Ari Melber put one of my clips on his show once too.
Someone said he's not canceled. They move around hosts like they do every couple years.
No,
I don't
he
watch
has his
MSNBC.
own show on the weekend.
I don't watch
Yeah, he's-
MSNBC, but I've watched a ton of Mehdi Hassan, and I just think like Mehdi Hassan's interview with Vivek was incredible. He tore
Incredible.
Vivek apart. His ability to have interviews with people and cut through their shit and keep people away from rambling and getting them to answer their question. Like he might be the best. He might be the best that there is. So, obviously, maybe I don't have the whole story, but either way, I think this guy should have a daily show.
So the person that said, "I love looking at Ari." Yes, you and me both. His
Kind of
intelligence. I don't know if he's attractive or he's just so intelligent that that's attractive to me.
Ari?
Okay, wait. Yeah, Ari Melber. And
Who would you
I just
rather
love
di-
how he likes music, how he like ties in like music to journalism and like life lessons. Like, do you know this about him? He's like an avid hip hop
Yeah.
fan. He has like
Yeah.
the Roots on, like Erica Badu. Like it's just amazing when he's
Who are you more infatuated with, Ari Melber or Bad Views?
bad views.
Bad Views. That's
I
beautiful.
don't know Ari Melber.
That's
Shut up.
beautiful.
You're just jealous. You're jealous.
I am.
and
I
you're
do
gonna
feel
keep
like you
mentioning-
took Bad Views from me. I am a little bit jealous. I thought Bad Views was mine. I
He
thought
loves
was my
you.
Trumper.
He loves you so much.
know,
Like
but he
anytime
talks
you
to
want to
you
be
now.
friends with him, you guys
Now
are
he
both
just-
ex-Mormons. You guys can hang out together and talk about your struggles. As white, blonde hair, blue-eyed men or whatever it is you guys have to talk about. You know, it's a struggle for you people.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
wait. I want to
people.
say something about
Whoa,
Margarine. Yes, you
whoa.
people.
I can't stop watching in our Discord a video of Ted Cruz trying to dribble a basketball between his legs and it going poorly. I can't stop watching it. If you
I
guys
didn't
aren't
know
in the
there was a
Discord, send Jen an invitation.
I didn't know there was footage of Ted Cruz trying to dribble a basketball.
He's for some reason dribbling a
bet that's
basketball on a tennis court that's definitely indoors and it has white curtains. I'm gonna guess this is some sort of country
How
club, but he's
embarrassing.
oh, it's tough to watch. I can't stop watching it. I actually have to leave the screen. I won't get anything done the rest of this day. Are you seeing it?
No, I'm not watching it. I'm going to say something about Margarine, no matter how many times you try to derail me. Okay. Margarine Taylor Greene. So, you know how she now says, because her last motion, like her third motion to like impeach Mayorkas was tabled and sent back to the Homeland Security Committee where it will go to die or whatever.
Yeah.
She says she will be bringing articles of impeachment against Mayorkas every week until he's impeached. That's the news from Congress today. Every week until he's impeached, we're going to have to hear from Margarine. But it's losing a lot of steam. Like, nothing's really coming of trying to impeach Mayorkas. And they're kind of, there's news, like Tom Emmer is saying, Tom Emmer, who was the most moderate Republican that was up for speaker. He's from Minnesota. And he's even saying, like, he might be on board with voting to impeach Biden now. Like, there's just more fuel behind the Biden thing. And they're saying, like, the vote could come this month.
I don't get the fuel. I don't get it.
I don't
one
either.
bit.
I mean, they have no evidence. So. They're counting on Hunter not testifying behind closed doors. Like, if he has to testify behind closed doors and he pleads the fifth, then they'll just say he's hiding something and vote to impeach.
This would
That's
be
what they're planning.
Yeah, this would be the single most ridiculous impeachment in United States history, and it wouldn't be close. If you're going to impeach Joe Biden for something his son did that wasn't a crime, like what are we doing? You're going to impeach somebody for something they didn't do, their son did, while, by the way, they weren't in office, and it wasn't a crime. That's what we're doing now. We just like if we just impeach people just for the fuck of it, that's fine, I guess. By the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene released her book last week. It's called MTG.
Oh, floppy flop.
Yep, it's been a complete flop. Nobody bought it. It's sold 10,000 copies. And by the way, if you guys don't know how these books work, when you see somebody like Don Jr. with his Triggered book, and they're like, "Hey, Don Jr. Put out this book. It's a New York Times bestseller. It's an Amazon bestseller." It's because they use campaign funds and super PAC funds to buy a bunch of books, and they give
And
them
buy
as
up their
gifts.
own book.
So these are almost certainly just books that the campaign has bought. 10,000. It has eight reviews total. 8. And it has an average ranking of 2 out of 5 stars.
People
So-
aren't even fake reviewing it. I was reading that it's something like 2,000th on the bestseller, New York Times bestseller
yeah,
list or something.
she's killing it. And she did her book release. Like when she announced the release of the book, she did it apparently in a backyard around a fire with terrible
Yes,
lighting and a giant glass of wine.
A fire
it was
pit.
like Marianne Williamson scheduled her book release. Take that, Marianne. Fuck you, Marianne Williamson. I had some more people getting on those Marianne Williamson videos. If you haven't seen them, if you haven't seen Marianne Williamson, come unglued with me. There's a whole bunch of Marianne people commenting again today on those videos about how great she is. And I just want to remind you guys, fuck Marianne Williamson. And forever and always. But this looks like something was staged by her.
Guys, tap the screen. Let's get to 100K. Let's get on the For You page. If you are MAGA in here or just a Republican who would like us to ask you some questions, we want to know what makes you tick. Please request
Did you see?
so we can have a chat with you. Oh, she tried to get on the Jimmy Kimmel show. Yeah, whoever said that. She tried
Who
to
did?
like bait Jimmy. Margarine. She
come
tried to
on.
bait Jimmy Kimmel into like letting her on the show to promote her book, and he was just like, no.
Did you see Elon?
Thank you for the crown.
Did you see Elon Musk? He was being interviewed post
Oh
his...
my God, what was that? Bad Views told me about that actually.
Yeah, so he's being interviewed post his trip to Israel.
We should play that clip.
All right, I've got it. Let's see. That's not the one. A lot of people are saying that he went to Israel simply so that he could cover up like the anti-Semitism that is so
Anti-Semitic,
rampant
yeah.
on Twitter, the anti-Semitism that he has endorsed by retweeting or commenting, potentially boosting anti-Semitic material. He's definitely an anti-Semite. There's no question about that. I did see a great, maybe you sent it to me, where it was like he visited, the South African-born man visited Israel because he just missed apartheid so much. He wanted to go back to his roots. But here's his quote when asked about losing sponsor money and his trip to Israel. Here's his quote. Let's see.
But go fuck yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, you don't want...
So that is his response to Bob Iger, the Disney CEO, saying go fuck yourself because they pulled their advertising. One of the other things that he said is, I'm not going to be blackmailed by money. You're not being blackmailed, dude. Nobody's blackmailing you. People don't fucking like you. People don't fucking like your app. They think it's shitty and they don't want to advertise with right-wing nationalists. Elon Musk acting, and he's being so praised for this, like, he's standing up to the man. No, he's not. No, he's not. He thinks he's a victim because he's a white nationalist and people don't want to advertise with him, and he's like, I won't be blackmailed. Okay, well, blackmailed into what? Not being a racist? Is that what you're
I just
saying?
have to say, I mean, it's just different. I used to work in advertising, so it's just so different than like what people think like corporation, like where there's millions upon millions, how many, I don't know how many unique visits Twitter is getting now, but I mean it's still extremely significant, and advertisers want to be in a place where that many people are converging. Corporate advertisers, Fortune 500 advertisers that have money to just spray around like millions and millions of dollars to throw at a site like Twitter. And he has lost it all because he won't create an environment that's conducive to advertising. Like he's a capitalist, right? He claims to be a great businessman, but everything he does is awful in business. Like in the advertising world, like there's just no greater failure than what he's done.
Yeah, so I have it. I think Twitter is, I want to say, somewhere around 23. They used to be a top 5, top 10, or well, I guess it was top 10. They were a top 10 most popular mobile apps in the United States, and that they measure that by average unique monthly visitors. Right?
Yeah,
And they used to be top
that's
10.
how,
But
and that's how advertising is sold. Like around unique monthly visits, cost per thousand impression. Like how many times can you deliver an ad to a unique monthly
yeah,
visitor?
they're not in the top 20 now. Google Photos is higher, Cash App is higher, Apple Maps is higher. Obviously TikTok's higher. Number 1 is YouTube by miles. Gmail, Google Search, Google Maps, Facebook still up there. Amazon, Facebook Messenger, Google Play, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok is miles ahead of Twitter. Twitter's not on this. So they're at least under 70 million unique visitors a month, where YouTube's 158,000 or 158 million, TikTok is 80 million. If somebody can get me those stats of this doesn't go far enough down the list to give me, I did top 20 thinking that they would be in the top 20, and it didn't even give me top 20. It's still not there.
Someone who said this? Kate Dennis said, "Remember when no one paid attention to where corporations advertise? Corporations do. When you are a for-profit business, like that's what that's what Twitter is. That's what X claims to be, a for-profit business, and that profit comes from advertising revenue. So yeah, that's who pays attention. When you tank a business, a
Yeah.
Fortune 500 company."
When you are a CEO, this is the other part about Republicans. We say all the time, facts don't fucking matter. Republicans, their entire ideology is identity politics. Nobody plays identity politics more than Republicans, and this is evident with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is probably the single worst CEO of any social media company ever to exist. He has lost all the value of his company. He's terribly in debt. They've now lost almost 70% of their ad revenue. And the changeover, trying to make users pay, that was a flop. Getting rid of blue checks, that was a flop. Everything he's done since taking over Twitter, changing the name to X. Nobody wants to call it X. Everything he's done has been a massive failure, but Republicans are so conditioned to just believe that somebody who's on their side is right about everything that they still think he's awesome. He is the most embarrassing failure of a CEO of a tech company ever in existence, and that includes maybe Sam Bankman-Fried. Like
Well,
he
that's
did, at
it's
least
like
Sam Bankman-Fried made
Republicans are
money.
billionaire simps, right? They're like, I idolize these people who have made so much money. I prop them up. I want to be just like them. And we're telling you, this man, you're supposed to idolize capitalism, right? You love people making privatized profit off your back. You love being slaves, right? Well, he's taking that profit and tanking it. Like he lost it all. A company's hard work, the brand that they built, the space that they built that was lucrative for billions of dollars of advertising revenue. He lost it all.
I thought
He did the exact opposite of what you all simp for.
I still thought when he took over, like, and there was, I think Bad Views and I maybe talked about this, and may have been somebody else, but when he first took over,
He's
and
getting
you
so
saw
much
the
airtime today.
yeah, well, I'm trying to remember who would have had this discussion with me, but when he took over, they were losing revenue a little bit, and the argument was, well, he knows what he's doing. He's gonna fundamentally transform it. And I was like, okay, well, like, let's see. Like, this isn't working. I don't think it's going to work, but maybe we'll see. He doesn't have a plan at all. He doesn't. He's just like a regular white nationalist on Twitter. He just happens to be amplified. Like, there's no strategy here. He doesn't have a plan. He's just going to show up, say horrible shit, and then when the advertisers leave, he's going to blame them. He's going to blame them for his ideas being unpopular.
Yeah, I listen, that's all that's happening here on TikTok with like moderation, like moderators, and everyone's always mad at moderators. It's all just to create an environment conducive to advertising. That's advertiser friendly. They don't want extreme stuff, they just want it to be like, oh, dance videos, we can advertise against this, They want it to be as friendly as possible for advertisers. But I like it because it creates a safe space for us too, where you can have a free exchange of ideas, like when you're on Twitter now. I mean, it's like, what is happening? Am I in a lucid nightmare? It's like a war.
I think too, TikTok, for whatever the way that they're moderating seems to have changed. I think TikTok's moderation has actually gotten a lot better. You're not seeing,
Yeah.
like, I'm not getting flagged for things. Even the guests that come on here and say things that aren't true, they're not getting kicked for misinformation the same way. I think TikTok's actually doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, all to create a safe environment for advertisers.
Do you see Clay
I
Higgins?
love TikTok.
Yeah. Did you see Clay Higgins saying that at least 200 of the January 6th insurrectionists were FBI, like placed
I
FBI
have it
agents?
on I'm already made a TikTok about it this I love Clay Higgins. Whenever
Yes.
he wants to have a nervous breakdown on television, I'm there.
Are you gonna
with
do?
popcorn.
Are you gonna do a spoiler for us, or do we have to wait for your video to come out to tell us what you've come up
No.
with Clay Higgins about this
Oh
story?
no, it's just I just was putting clips of his disastrous because there was a Senate hearing yesterday on pew pew violence, which basically debunked all of the crap about it's the blue cities, and there was this amazing lady who was just punking like Senator John Kennedy over and over,
Oh, yes,
the most gun
from Yale,
violence
the
is
lady from
happening in
Yale?
Louisiana. I think so. Yeah, it was happening
Yeah.
in Louisiana and Mississippi. Like that's what the most gun.
yeah,
and all
John
the senators are like, it's the giant cities, and she's like, no, holding up like a heat map of like where gun violence is. And she's like,
Yeah,
no.
Kennedy said something along the lines of, "Do you support that Chicago has turned into the world's largest open air gun range?" It was like, what the fuck kind of question is that? What are you talking? That's not a question. That's not something that a person that is supposed to represent the people should be saying. And she was like, I don't know. I don't live there. And we're not talking about that
Yeah.
right now. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian
was
Tyler
beautiful.
Cohen did a great little piece on that clip too, where he showed where the most even if you compared what Brian Tyler Cohen showed was, even if you listen to John Kennedy, and even if you compared Chicago to the city of or state of Louisiana, there's more gun violence per capita in Louisiana than there is in Chicago. It did any way you shake it down. It's like, Senator John Kennedy, worry about your own state. That's where the violence is happening.
Yeah, it's Louisiana, not a beacon of safety, I would say. I wouldn't say that.
Apparently not. Mississippi, Missouri, these are unsafe places. I learned from that hearing.
Is that all of the news stories we had?
Oh, well, we need to talk about the debate. I sent you an article about tonight. Is the DeSantis Newsom debate that we will be streaming it.
So on YouTube tonight, make sure if you guys are here right now that you subscribe. I don't know if Whisper's figured out how to cross stream it yet. I don't think we have a key stream yet, so I don't think we can do it here. But go right now in my link tree. There's a link to our YouTube. Go there, subscribe, and we'll be there live tonight. You can comment just like you do here. You can also join the Discord. That's where we did it. We may do a watch party in the Discord if people want to do it that way. We can do it however we want, but we will be broadcasting that. It'll be just like last time. We'll mostly be quiet during the debate and during the breaks, and then after we'll talk about some things. But
Someone said, who thinks he will cancel? I still think, I feel that I cannot believe DeSantis is doing this. I'm still
he's
in
the
disbelief
worst.
to this
He's
minute
the worst
right now.
debater in the GOP. He's horrendous.
That's what I'm saying. He's incapable. And you're talking about Gavin Newsom is just, he is a very talented debater, has like an eidetic memory. Like, it's just not somebody you want to debate if you're arguably the worst pound for pound debater in the GOP. This is not the person you want to go up against, especially someone that also has a foot height advantage on you. It's not going to be good.
Gonna bring that up.
He's 6'3", and how tall is DeSantis? Did anyone
Apparently
ever decide?
5'3".
He's different heights every day depending on which lifts. He's 45, and Gavin Newsom is 56, in case anyone was wondering. So these are relatively younger candidates. It's at 7 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern. It's in Alpharetta, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta.
Do you think there's any scenario where tonight, because Newsom's going to win this debate. There's no everybody. I don't care what side you're on. You have to know Newsom's going to win this debate.
Well, they need to get a really they're going to have a pro DeSantis crowd probably. And then Hannity's hosting. And well, it's not about where it's at, but that's part of debate negotiations is what type of crowd. Like when Trump did that town hall on CNN, he had all, you know what I mean? Like MAGA people, because the crowd can sometimes make a difference. But yeah, like we'll see. Newsom will have everything against him, but I still think that it will just be an unequivocal loss.
Well, so the question I was going to ask then, if he's going to win, but if he does it convincingly and in a way where he can make Republican ideas seem dumb and his ideas seem palatable for moderates, like I do actually think there's a scenario where Newsom comes out of this tonight and there's a lot of public pressure for Joe Biden to step down and Newsom to take the spot. I think there's a real scenario where if he performs that well, especially if he goes on to Fox later, after the debate, if you start hearing people on Fox News say, yeah, Newsom wipes the floor with him. That was a complete beatdown, which it's going to be. But if you get enough people on Fox, OAN, Newsmax that are honest about that, you may see a renewed pressure from Democrats.
Well, they will be because they support Trump. They probably will be. It'll be interesting to see how like OAN, the specific like complete Trump supporting networks, play this if they'll drag DeSantis. Completely.
Did you see DeSantis went to Cotuit? It's a town in Cape Cod.
Spell it.
Cotuit. Cotuit. That's how the pretentious assholes would say it. He showed up to his campaign stop at this little, I think, a restaurant. Apparently, it's like the bluest area in Cape Cod. So he just showed up to people booing him and chanting shame the entire time, and they were there for like 15 minutes, and they had to basically turn around and get out of there. So I don't know why Ron DeSantis was in Cape Cod, but apparently they are not.
They chased him out.
Yeah, he wasn't there very long. There was virtually no crowd, and the only crowd that did show up was all there just calling him a fascist. So
I think tonight will be the most entertaining debate by far, right? And I think for DeSantis, because Nikki Haley has caught up to him or surpassed him, right, in most of these polls, state by state polls. I think tonight ends him.
I think he's done.
Well, I mean, I think tonight is important for DeSantis. I think, and I think he needs to show that he can stand on his own, right? And like, what was it? I wanted to read an article that we didn't get to yesterday, but the Koch network, the Koch brothers PAC, has backed Nikki Haley now. And because I was wondering, I was reading something about Nikki Haley's ad spends, like in different states, which are now surpassing DeSantis. I was like, where is this money coming from that Nikki Haley is throwing around? But now she's backed by the Koch PAC, and I think DeSantis is running out of support. Yeah.
They were huge for Trump. They've been huge for when you get the Koch brother endorsement, it's not like they're thought leaders, but they have great advertisers, and two,
it is one Koch now. One is no longer with us, but
well, he's probably there in spirit.
He's been cryogenically frozen. I'm sure he's waiting to reappear at any moment.
That money's important, and you see, have you looked at the ad spends from the Trump campaign?
Well, What, this year?
Yeah, because Trump historically has relied on the news networks, covering his speeches.
Yeah, he
Uh,
gets free media. Yeah.
yeah, but his free media is largely not good. His ads are atrocious. I don't know if you saw it. David posted his ad yesterday, his new ad, and David, of course, had shivers going up his spine. But it's terrible. It's just Trump with like theatrical music behind it and him looking tough. It's clearly somebody like this is what Trump wants to see. The ads for Trump have turned from good ads, which he had good ads and he had free media, into we're gonna make this ad to make him happy. I really think he's in a lot of trouble. I think Republicans don't realize how much trouble he's in. He's completely lost the plot. He's talking about shit nobody cares about, and a lot of times shit that nobody's even heard of.
Someone asked us if we think Newsom is a strong candidate to go up against Trump.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Newsom is the strong. The only downside to Newsom is that he's from California. That's really his downside. Is that he's from.
What? Oh,
Well,
you mean other people might not like it?
Yeah, yeah. When you're trying to connect with a Midwest voter, you're trying to connect with somebody from Ohio, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, like you may have a hard time convincing them that they need L.A. liberal.
I think like the good candidates, definitely Newsom, but then like when you look at what is his name? The governor, the guy who just won re-election in Kentucky. Like for me, he's also one to watch. What is the governor of Kentucky's name? He's also one to watch because he is a
Bashir?
Democrat showing the blueprint, Shearer, to
Bashir.
Bashir, yeah, Andy
Yeah.
Bashir. Yeah, he's showing the blueprint to win for a Democrat to win repeatedly in the deep South, right? In a red state. So, but yeah, I guess if you look at it that way, but to me, Gavin Newsom is that star power, and I think like we hear it all the time. Like we heard, I think it was on Nemo's live this weekend, but someone was saying like, I loved Barack Obama. Oh yeah, that Lithuanian guy we were talking to. He was saying he was like MAGA supporter, but he was like I loved Barack Obama, but I can't listen to a Biden speech. And it's like, well, surprise, they are both neo-libs, same exact ideology. Like if you liked what Barack Obama was doing, well, Biden's doing the exact same thing. And that extends out to Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is not a progressive. Like if I had to give a critique of Gavin Newsom, he's not a progressive, but he is somebody that can bring the country together, right? Because he's right in the middle with the neocons, the neo-libs, and the never-Trumpers, like that's what they are. They're moderates. Like Gavin Newsom, not a progressive. But I will say, I feel like when Gavin Newsom saw what Ron DeSantis was doing with his culture wars in Florida, it changed Gavin Newsom. I think Gavin Newsom used to be a lot less progressive, and like when I saw him give some speech he gave where he was talking about like I didn't see the importance of culture wars, and he's like, but I have kids, and like I'm not gonna let like my children grow up in a world where the LGBTQ are being marginalized and all of this stuff. So I think Gavin Newsom has moved left, but still is very much the governor of California is a moderate Republican, probably
I think
moderate Democrat.
I think really all you need to do with Gavin Newsom, you can look at the before and after. Before he was governor, after he was governor, or before the before version of Kimberly Guilfoyle,
I knew you were
the
going
after
there.
version of
I knew
Kimberly
you were going
Guilfoyle.
there.
I don't know what happened to Kimberly Guilfoyle. It's not good. It's not good at all. And I can only imagine that like being around the Trumps, it just makes you miserable with yourself. But poor Kimberly Guilfoyle, she
6 years without a ring.
yeah. Oh, are they not married?
No, she's just a girlfriend. They broke up like a couple months ago. Now she's back. Yeah,
Well,
they're in a very unhealthy relationship.
Well, maybe Don Jr.'s saving. Times are tough. Maybe he's saving up. Maybe he doesn't have the money for the ring yet. He's trying to save up for it.
Times are tough.
I mean, they're losing their
sure.
business. I don't know.
They are on Rumble. They both have podcasts now.
I love Don Jr.'s podcast. If you guys haven't watched it, Don Jr. just like gets coked up and does a podcast every day. It's really amazing.
That's what I pay for on Rumble. Okay, if everyone wants to know what I spend
The
money
Don Jr.
on Rumble, it's Don Jr.'s podcast.
What's up, Caleb?
Hey, it seemed like y'all were having a hard time getting some opposition up here, and I just delivered where I was going, so.
We can always count on you. You watching
I
that?
figured I'd be the hated man for a while.
You watching the Ron DeSantis debate tonight?
Dude, Ron DeSantis is a joke. I'm sorry. I'm a Republican, but Ron DeSantis is a joke.
What don't you like about him?
To me, it seems like he's cutthroat and he's all about himself, and he'll make it seem like he's not. Basically, y'all's critique of Trump is what I see.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds an awful lot like the other guy, but yeah.
I feel like Ron DeSantis is like trying to do a terrible impression of Trump, and I don't like. If anything, like I'll take the original over the terrible impression.
Well, see, that's what I see about Vivek. Like I see him wanting to be like Trump.
Yeah, all of them do. Does that concern you that people like conservatives think that the way to govern, the way to get power is to act like Trump? And does it concern you that like the people that now are rising to power in the Republican Party are just Trump clones?
I think that they see how much momentum Trump has, and they think that if they act the same way...
Right?
No, I still think he has. I mean...
Well, momentum is getting bigger. His support is getting smaller. So he doesn't have momentum, right?
From what I saw, it's been getting bigger, because...
What did you see?
Every time they throw an indictment at him, it comes back, and it actually helps his it benefits him more.
Yeah, no, it's not. Like his support within the Republican Party is going down. The donors aren't paying him as much money. They're choosing. We just talked about they're giving money to Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis instead. Public opinion polls he's dropping. The only momentum he has is that like it's close with Biden. Sometimes he's ahead, sometimes he's behind. But that's not real momentum, I wouldn't say, right? It's just like in some polls he's doing okay, but every other measurable indicator of his
presidents have tried to run for president after another president has taken office. Normally, after that, their numbers go way down. Where Trump's is staying up there.
I mean, never happened. I don't know if this has ever happened that a president lost and then ran again.
It happened back in the mid 1900s, and I can't remember the president that.
Well, we probably didn't have great polling data there to compare.
True, I'll give you that. I do want to take a second. Felice, I wanted to apologize about Saturday. I don't know if you've seen the comments where I was apologizing. Whenever I get upset, I don't want to get to the point to where I'm yelling or being outrageous or anything. And I saw where that was going with that Tony individual. I saw where he was going to put me at, and I was like, I'm out. So...
I understand what you're saying. Thank you for saying that. And yeah, we're good.
I just didn't want you to think, well, this dickhead just,
I don't know. Did you go in David's live and talk shit about me after or not? That's the only question I have.
No, I didn't talk shit. I did say that it was kind of bullcrap about Tony. Like, I didn't appreciate what Tony was doing. Not necessarily you and Nemo. You and Nemo and me have always had civil discourse. So the Tony guy, I was having a problem with.
Okay, yeah.
I was just saying cool. It was lives.
No, yeah, we're like, and that's Nemo always says to me, he stays up late on those lives and he has good conversation with you, and anyone that like gives Nemo good civil discourse like is okay with me. You make Nemo happy, so for that you make me happy. Thank you.
Well, I just wanted to clear the air there because I'm that type of person. I'll put it out there, and if there's a problem, I address it. So
no, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I was just looking. I was pulling 538 the approval rating for Trump. It's going down. He's getting worse. All of his averages are getting worse right now. That's what I was saying with momentum. Like, I don't think he has momentum. I think he has the nomination locked up, but he doesn't really seem to have momentum. He's choosing, and I did want to ask you this: like, does it with Trump? Does it concern you that he's unwilling to debate? Like he won't debate anybody?
I think it's a problem for Trump and Biden. You know, Biden and the DNC don't want to have any debates whatsoever. So I applaud Republicans.
Let's wait. Hold on, Caleb. Caleb, hold on, real quick. When you are the incumbent, you don't debate your own party. That never happens. It's never happened. Trump didn't have debates when he was the incumbent. Obama didn't debate people when he was the incumbent. When you're the incumbent, your party sticks with you as the candidate. So you can't compare the two.
Well, one is an incumbent. One not having any debate
because he's the incumbent. Because hold on, he's the incumbent. That's what I'm saying, Caleb. The incumbent, the person, Caleb, the person, Caleb. That was the middle of my sentence. The person who is currently the president never debates their own party. That never happens. So it's not, you're not comparing two like things. This is the first time that I know of that a person who is not the sitting president is refusing to debate and his party still votes for him. This has never happened before. It's not, you can't compare Trump and Biden right now. You can't. They're two totally different things. And Trump is not going to debate Biden. Does that concern you?
I mean, Trump already has a proven track record of what he's going to do. So, and he's shown that he's a man of his word, in my opinion. So,
whoa, a man of his word? He lies about everything, dude. What are you talking about? How are you saying? What are you talking about? What has he been a man of his word? What has he been a man of his word about?
Well, he got the tax credits out, which he promised he would do. The child tax credits.
He didn't. That's what he didn't run on. He did not run on child tax credits.
Well, he said that he was going to do that, and he did.
No, he didn't.
So,
he didn't. No, he didn't run on that. He didn't. No, he didn't run on that. But you understand what his main message was, right? Like if you go watch Trump rallies from 2015, 2016, he wasn't saying, "I'm going to get child tax credits. I'm going to get gas prices low." He said he was going to fix infrastructure. He was going to build the wall. He was going to drain the swamp. He was going to lock up Hillary Clinton. That was like 90% of what he said. He didn't.
And he was going to get rid of Obamacare.
Get rid of Obamacare. He didn't do any of those things. But more importantly, like I also think. Hold on, real quick. I also think it's unfair to say that a president promising something and not delivering it means they're not a man of his, or that they're not a man of their word. I don't think that that's fair because it's not entirely in their control.
As long as you make an attempt to do what you say you're gonna do.
So we have to talk about we have to talk about things that were totally in his control, like telling the truth about things that happened. And that's where Donald Trump is never a man of his word. When Donald Trump spoke as he was inaugurated, and then he had a press conference later, and he's continued to tell this story, that as soon as he stepped up to the podium, the skies cleared, the sun came out, and it stopped raining. That didn't happen. That's a weird fucking thing to still be saying. That's a weird thing to say. Right?
I heard that.
Yeah, how about this is the biggest crowd ever to witness a presidential inauguration. It wasn't. He knew that, and instead of coming out and being like, "My bad, I got the numbers wrong," he sent out his press secretary to say, "We have alternative facts," and that it was the largest period.
RTP.
Yeah.
You do realize that y'all's savior Biden does the same stuff all the time.
No, he didn't do either of those things.
He said that he graduated top of his class in law school. He didn't even finish in the
He didn't go to law school, I don't think.
Yes, he
Trump's
did.
false or misleading claims total 30,573 over 4 years. Nobody has ever matched the level of
Biden says
that Trump did.
All sorts of things that are not true, and yet y'all want to sit here and back him up. It doesn't make sense to me. You can't down one.
Listen, all politicians exaggerate or have lied. That's what I'm trying to say. Nobody is disputing that all people have, but the gross inordinate amount of lies that Donald Trump has told is unrivaled. Like we can't sit here and debate that, do politicians lie? Of course, politicians lie all the time in different ways. Like, sure. Let me just break in to just.
He did go to law school, by the way, and you're right. Hold on, real quick. I want to give Caleb some credit. You're right about that. He did not graduate in the top half of his law school. That's right.
Yeah. I did know what you were talking about. But I just want to say, you guys were talking about, it's Grover Cleveland, who's the only former president who's ever come back after being defeated for re-election to win a second non-consecutive term. Just for the record.
No, thank you. I couldn't.
Do you think, by the way, that there's a difference between like standing in front of the people, lying about what they're seeing with their own eyes, and lying about your past? Like, do you think that there's a little bit of a difference there, or no? Not on like the impact. Like here, yeah. So here's the thing. So Trump lied about something we all saw, and we all can see. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing to lie about something that is recorded.
What are you referencing now?
I'm talking about when he said that when he spoke during the inauguration, the clouds parted, the sun came out, and it stopped raining when he started speaking.
They could have been talking hyperbole. I don't know. I didn't see that.
What kind of hyperbole would that be?
That would be. Language arts is not my strong suit.
Hyperbole is an exaggeration.
Sure. Yeah, 21 times a day, Donald Trump told a lie, on average. That's a lot, dude.
See,
here's 4 years he was president. 21 times a day. That's what 30,573 comes out to.
I feel like there is a bias on the internet to where it leans one side or the other, especially with
Caleb, you've got to.
I'm just saying.
I know, but Caleb, at some point, you've got to recognize that you have become a person who, instead of hearing something and you don't know the answer, or hearing something that you're uncomfortable with, you make up a conspiracy theory to defend it. That there is a bias on the internet. What are you talking about? There's a bias in the internet. These are things these are 300, 3,900, 17 untruths in 1 month. In 1 month, he told almost 4,000 lies. 4,000. And instead of you going to Google and saying, what were these lies? Let me check it out yourself. You've already dismissed it. You don't know what these lies are. You haven't looked any of this up. You're choosing, Caleb, to dismiss it because of what you want to be true. Do you understand that?
RTP, have you not been in the lives with me before? I can admit when I'm wrong.
Caleb, I want you to discuss what we're talking about right now. Why did you just dismiss that without checking the facts and say the internet is biased?
Because
why can't you just be like, that's a lot, I'm going to look into that?
I've already experienced it for myself. A lot of the times that I get on the internet and I go to look at something, it's got a left-leaning agenda being pushed behind it.
You understand how... Okay, but hold on. See, again, you're doing the same shit. If something has a left-leaning... Wait, hold on. Something can be true and have a left-leaning agenda. So how do you decide what's true? It sounds like if you believe something has a left-leaning agenda, you automatically dismiss it. That's silly. Things could have
facts don't have a left-leaning agenda. If you don't like the facts, that's the thing. That's what MAGA does. If you don't like the facts, then it's somehow an agenda. Facts are facts.
Yeah, don't start saying that I am feelings over facts, because I'm not.
You are.
Okay?
You just did feelings over facts. You did a feelings over factsism right there. You said, I've done this before, and most of the time when I find the facts, they have a left-leaning agenda. You literally just said, I don't care about the facts because of the agenda. That's facts over feelings over facts. Right?
And I'm just telling you that through my time on the interwebs here.
No, stop, Caleb. I know this is not, we're not at a point right now where I don't understand what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. You don't need to explain to me over and over what you're saying. I need you to answer the question. Do you understand that something can be true and it can appear to have a left-leaning agenda? Or the person writing it can have a left-leaning agenda and it can still be true. Those two things,
Yeah.
like, okay, so then why did you say that you dismiss things with a left-leaning agenda?
I don't dismiss all things with a left-leaning agenda.
Well, you dismissed this, and you said that you don't go check these things out anymore because beforehand, like, could you give me an example of a fact that you tried to look up, and then there was a left-leaning agenda, so you decided it wasn't true?
Okay, give me a second to think here because I'm not. It's not like I have all this stuff stockpiled in a rolling drawer inside my brain here.
Fair enough.
Let's see.
While Caleb's thinking,
So,
tap the
okay,
screen,
here,
guys.
I got one.
Okay.
So left-leaning agenda is that Trump called everybody that comes from Mexico dirty and all this other stuff, and he's advocating that, and that's not true.
Okay, let's read the quote then. What does the quote say?
I don't have the quote in front of me.
I'll pull it up.
But,
I'll pull it up for you here, and you just tell me if this sounds like Donald Trump is saying that the people coming from Mexico are good or bad. Okay. Sorry, my internet is going so slow.
I can read some.
Do you have the?
Well, I found an
Here we go.
article called "All the Times Trump Insulted Mexico" from Time Magazine.
Yeah. So here's the quote you're talking about, though. When Mexico sends its people, so now let's just go, we're going to go step by step. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems. And they bring those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. And some, keep in mind, he said these are all the people Mexico are bringing. He's definitive that they're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, that they're racist. And some, not he's sure, I assume, he says, are good people. He's sure that they're sending all these awful people. He's sure that Mexico is choosing to send all these awful things, but he assumes some of them are good people.
So is that calling all Mexicans?
Well, you'd have to show me. You'd have to show me somebody saying.
He literally said.
Hold on, hold on, dude. Don't not in the middle of my sentence, Caleb. Not in the middle of my sentence, bud. This is how we're gonna have a conversation. He said this. In order for you to show that there was a lie, you're now gonna have to show me a source where somebody, some left-leaning publication said Donald Trump said all Mexicans are bad people. I don't think you can find that. I don't think you will ever find a source where the person said that Donald Trump said all people or all Mexican people are bad people. This is a terrible fucking quote. And you guys are the ones that bring this up all the time. This is awful, dude. He's literally just bad-mouthing everybody in Mexico and then saying, and I assume some of them are good people. This isn't something you guys
It's vile.
should It's not something you should use as a defense for him. This was a vile comment. Yeah, exactly, Felice. Vile.
So, do you not agree that Mexico has a very bad cartel problem?
Let me tell you the first problem I have with this. Mexico doesn't send its people. People choose to come here. So the first problem is that the very start, when he says, when Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their people. Does Mexico have a cartel problem? Yeah. You know why they have a cartel problem? Because they share a border with us, and we want all their drugs, and we want their trafficked people. And there's a market for it here. If the market didn't exist, the cartel wouldn't exist. But instead of Donald Trump recognizing that his donors, the people who are bringing these people over for cheap labor, they're the problem. Instead, Donald Trump chooses to demonize almost all of Mexico because only some, he assumes, are good people.
So is it bad that Donald Trump was putting up a wall to stop cartel members from just, transforming himself?
Caleb, see, this is what's frustrating with you, Caleb. Every time I say something, you deflect to something else. It's a whataboutism. Why won't you address that Donald Trump said he only assumes some of them are good people? Why won't you address that?
Because he's not wrong. There are some good people down there, and there's also some bad people.
Well, he didn't say that, did
And
he?
some bad people
He didn't
come
say
across
he
the
didn't.
border.
But does his quote
Bad
say?
people are coming
Does his
across the
hold
border
on?
bringing
Does his
drugs,
quote say?
bringing
Does
sex
his quote?
trafficking and
Does
everything else.
Caleb, if you
does-
pride yourself on being able to admit when you're wrong, then listen what he's saying and stop just trying to play defense lawyer for the indefensible.
He didn't say, if the quote was, Mexico has some good people and some bad people, nobody would have gave a shit. But he didn't say that. He was definitive about the bad people. He was definitive about the the Mexican people when he said, they're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems. They're bringing drugs, crime, they are rapists, and some, I assume. That's the part you keep missing. He's definitive about all this. He's not even saying that they do have good people. He's saying he assumes they do, meaning he doesn't actually know if there are good people in Mexico. He just assumes that there are. But he was dead set on. But he was dead set on saying that they're. He's dead set. Caleb, God damn it, dude. Caleb, dude. When I'm talking, it's not your turn. He's saying that they are drug dealers, that they are bringing crime, that they are rapists. He's not saying, I assume they're bringing drugs. I assume they're bringing crime. I assume some are racist. He's saying this is who they are, and I assume some of them are good people. Why are you hell-bent on defending this guy?
Because he's a guy that's actually standing up for American people, not padding his own pockets.
He's literally used the office to enrich himself. The amount of money he's got from Saudi Arabia, the amount of money he made when he was president, the amount of money. Meanwhile, Donald Trump made a fortune when he was president, and our country went into massive debt under him, more than any other president.
Look up the past 5 presidents.
Yeah,
look up the past five presidents, their income when they became in office, and their income when they left office.
Yeah, you know
and
why?
You will see that.
You know why, Caleb? Why does their income go up when they leave office?
Because they're all taking money from lobbyists.
No, you goddamn potato. Because they sell a book. They write memoirs, and they'll get between $10 and $20 million for writing that book. And then they get a minimum of $100,000 for every speech they make. They sell their story. David, or not David, goddamn, that's Caleb. We have their financial well, that's how bad you sound today. We have their financial records. We know where Joe Biden got his. This is what's so frustrating about you fucking Republicans. We know where Joe Biden got all his money. There's no lack of transparency. He sold a book, and no, none of it's from his son. This is the problem with you, Caleb. You can see his financial records.
There's literally transcripts.
There is $0.00 that has ever been transferred from his son to him in the form of anything other than rent. But we know where he got his net worth. We know where all of his... Caleb, shut the fuck up and stop laughing. Because this is why you're goddamn annoying.
Hey, Jay, can I throw something out there real quick? I just wanted to hop up fast.
Welcome.
Hey, how's it going, brother? Direct quote, nobody has any idea where these people are coming from, and we know they come from prisons. We know they come from mental institutions and insane asylums. We know they're terrorists. Nobody has ever seen anything like we're witnessing right now. It's a very sad thing for our country. It's poisoning the blood of our country. It's so bad, and people are coming in with disease. That is a direct quote from less than 2 months ago.
And I can agree with it.
And there's
the poisoning the blood of our country. You agree that
that is 1940s German rhetoric.
We go to another country, and the amount of shots they have to get when they come to our country are two completely different things. You can ask anybody who works on board.
You would have been an excellent. You would have been an excellent SS guard. You would have been really great in the SS. You would have done a good job at those internment camps. You would have been terrific.
Really insulted, Martin.
You should be insulted because you just Donald Trump is spouting literal schmatzy propaganda, talking about poisoning the blood, and you're like, I agree with it. You deserve this criticism right now, Caleb. Caleb, you deserve this criticism right now. you sound like an actual racist. What you're saying is actually
100%.
racist. You sound like someone from schmatzy Germany, and I believe you're probably a good person, and this is the problem, Caleb. You are choosing, because you don't want to ever admit that you're wrong, instead of just admitting that you're wrong, what you're going to do is you're going to repeat hateful rhetoric because you refuse to educate yourself. You sound like a racist because you're repeating the stuff that Donald Trump says. You're repeating the talking points, the racist talking points that your party throws out. That you deserve every bit of this criticism. If you are not a racist, you are a racist sympathizer. You're one or the other, but you're doing nothing. You're doing nothing to stop the promulgation of racism in this country. In fact, you're doing the opposite. You are propping it up.
Can I talk now?
Shut the fuck up. No, you can't. No, you're done. No, you're done. I get so annoyed when people say, "Can I talk now?" I hate that. There's people waiting. Just
So I'm just curious: is it a all or nothing with for your opinions of people?
That's not a question I could possibly answer. You're gonna have to ask a better question than that.
Well, in terms of the last quote that was read, taking out the blood part, corrupting the blood. Yeah, that's
we don't take that part out. Yeah, don't take that out.
Is anything else?
That's not how quotes work. You don't take part of it out.
Yeah. You don't get to, you could take out a lot of parts of Mein
take out the
Kampf.
horrifically schmatzy part of it,
Jesus Christ, people.
And then we'll just pretend that wasn't there. Okay? That's not.
We're just answering your question, dude.
You didn't let me even finish my question. So let's just say the quote was only everything except corrupting our blood, because that's just stupid and ignorant to say.
Okay.
What was it? What would you still say that it's the mustache people?
It's still along those lines. Like the thing that Donald Trump is doing, and this is the part we're trying to get across, is that when he talks about Mexico, he talks in absolutes when it comes to how bad these people are. But when it comes to complimenting them, it's like, I assume, or they might. If you can't see the difference in how he talks about Mexican citizens versus like how he would talk about his MAGA people, like he demonizes them and then he'll add a caveat at the end. It's like, oh, they might be okay. Do you not see that part?
I don't vote, so
I didn't ask if. God damn it! Why are you guys all incapable? Do you see that part? I didn't ask if you vote.
Wait, let me say something though. So the quote is this: nobody has any idea where these people are coming from. And we know they come from prisons. We know they come from mental institutions and insane asylums. We know they are terrorists. No, we don't. Just like here in America, there are good people have mental health struggles, whatever. That doesn't, do you understand just like here, there's an imaginary border and there's other people on the other side of it who are the same as us. We're all made up of some good and some bad.
Yes.
And you don't see the difference you said take out everything but poisoning the blood. So you think saying nobody has any idea where these people are coming from and we know they come from prisons, which one is it? Do we not know where they're coming from, or are they coming from prisons, mental institutions, and insane asylums? No, these are people that have been displaced in violent uprisings in their countries, have no place to go, right?
I would say vast majority.
What is okay about that part of it though? Saying that these people that are fleeing violence and are coming here to make an asylum claim of I'm in danger for my life are coming from prisons, are coming from mental institutions, because that's not true.
It's an ignorant statement.
Nobody emptied out their prisons and insane asylums at our border. That's not true.
It's an ignorant statement for him to make. But
we know they are terrorists.
That's
not true. Now,
hold on. What the fuck?
Could some people that approached our border be a terrorist? Sure, but it's not true that they came. Go ahead. I know.
What? How can you? everything Felice just said was true. And what you said is it's insane to say that, but it's not false.
I said ignorant.
Ignorant, sorry, but not false. So are you telling me that you know where these people came from? Are you telling me that you know that they were unloaded from prisons and from mental institutions? Do you know that?
What I'm saying is
No,
just
do you
as
know?
Felicia.
I'm not asking you what you're saying. This is the thing. I don't know why you guys can't answer direct questions. Do you know where these people came from?
The statement's not false.
Do you know
I
where?
don't
I
work
wasn't
for
done. I have to
immigration,
say it
so no,
slower
I
because you don't seem to
personally
know
do not
how to
know.
answer questions.
I
No, shush.
answered your direct
Shushies.
question. I
Shushies.
personally do not know
Shushies.
because I
Hey,
do
my
not
friend,
work
shushies.
for immigration services.
Shushies. Do you know where these people came from?
I just answered that like three times.
It's so easy. This is just yes or no.
I said,
do you know where these people came from?
I do not know where
Okay,
those
so then how is the
people come
state?
from
Then how is the
because I am
statement?
not an
Then
immigration
how is the
service
statement?
officer.
Then how is the statement true?
He would know. He was the president.
I'm asking you.
No,
He's
well,
not
the
here.
statement's not true.
So
How
no
can it
one.
be how can it be ignorant but also true? That doesn't make any sense. Ignorant means you
because
don't
the-
no.
there's all
Ignorant
kinds
means
of ignorant stuff
wait.
that's true.
Ignorant means that you don't know, like that you don't have the facts. That's what the ignorance is. That's why we're calling it ignorant. So it can't be both.
Oh, okay. So it was stupid of him to
Okay,
say
that's
that.
what ignorance means. What does ignorance
Okay,
mean?
it was stupid of him to say that, but it's not entirely
Well, why
false.
was it stupid if it's true?
It is false.
Felicia, you just said
They
that-
have not emptied out their prisons, and no one's emptied out their prisons and their insane asylums and dropped them off at the border. It's not true.
you're bringing up a different quote or a different
No,
part
I'm
of the quote.
not. Nobody has any idea where these people are coming from. So right there, he contradicts himself, right? He's saying nobody has any idea where these people are coming from. And in the next breath, he says, we know they come from prisons. We know they come from mental institutions and insane asylums, which is not true. Nobody emptied out prisons and insane asylums and dropped them off at the U.S. border.
So wait, which part?
Which, when
is-
people make asylum claims, their claim is investigated.
Yes, I
right?
know that. I've worked immigration law.
Whatever. What the fuck does that mean? Like,
That sentence doesn't
and
make
you have
it.
not
I've
worked
worked
it. Yeah, it doesn't even
immigration
make any
law.
sense.
Nobody
and if you
who's
had,
ever
then you
worked-
would know that this is a lie. Like, please stop embarrassing yourself.
No. So
What did you do when you worked immigration law?
I worked for an immigration law attorney. I mean,
what did you
you're
do?
like so caught up on some
what
But
did
you
you
don't
do?
know that nobody emptied out their prisons and
What did you
insane
do?
asylums at our border, but you worked for an immigration law attorney.
Yeah, what did you do?
I wrote appeals for denials of being able to stay. One person.
You wrote appeals of denials of
Oh
being
my
able to
God,
stay.
it's
the legal
absolutely
jargon coming
make
out
it
of you
make
is
sense.
killing it.
Do you make fun of people all the time because of they don't speak?
Yeah,
No,
sometimes.
because you're
words you
not
wanna
being
hear?
you're being disingenuous. You're being
No, I'm not.
disingenuous.
If you
You're
would-
insult.
if you
Listen,
could
you
keep
came
your
up
mouth
here
shut
insulting our
for 30
intelligence.
seconds
You
for
are
me to finish
insulting
a
my
sentence.
intelligence, sir, and I resent it.
May I have 30 seconds to explain
Maybe.
what I
Go
did?
ahead.
Okay, so a woman from Rwanda had come to the United States. I don't recall if it was documented or undocumented. She was issued a visa. Her birth date had XXXX. She applied for I think a permanent residence, and the same organization that issued her visa with birth date.
What organization issued her visa?
Yeah,
Christ,
what
I don't know.
organization?
You don't know?
You don't know
He's
because
just
you
writing
read all
bills.
of this. You
He's
read
just-
all of this on Truth Social. Please stop, sir. You did not work for a law
You
office.
see, you don't let me finish. You don't let me finish. Let me finish. Can I finish?
No.
Can I finish without being interrupted?
Can I
Go
finish
ahead.
spreading disinformation and lying to you guys?
Go
Sure.
ahead.
Can please, host? Can I finish the
I
story?
said go ahead. I
Okay.
said that.
So she was denied. I don't recall because it was over 20 years ago. She was denied what she was applying for, and they said because you don't have a birth date.
Okay,
And it was a really simple appeal. I said,
who'd you appeal to? Who was the appeal to?
I wrote the appeal and I said the same organization that issued her visa.
What organization
with
issues visas?
There's
only
now
one
saying her birth date's not valid. She won. She got the.
Hold on.
The thing she was applying for.
Shush. Trussiger. There's only one organization that issues the visa, and you don't know what that organization is?
What the hell does it matter?
Well, because who the fuck were you sending appeals to?
Yeah,
you worked for a law attorney.
Guys,
and you
tap
were
the
doing
screen.
appeals for people who were here. And you don't know that you needed to go to the Bureau of Consular Affairs? You didn't know that?
Because it was
I don't
20
know.
years ago.
I missed that part in law school.
Because it was 20 years ago.
You don't and you forgot the one place that that issues visas? You forgot the one? There's only one, and you forgot?
Just stop doubling down on this lie. It's just getting sadder for you. You know what I mean? It's just getting really unfortunate.
Donald Trump loves the uneducated.
You came up here unsolicited with this lie. You didn't have to do this to yourself. I don't know why it's happening.
You're muted there, Chief.
Guys, tap the screen. Let's get to 175K.
I wonder, Trussiger, why did they hire you to write appeals? What were the qualifications? You're muted, by the way, but I'd like to know. I'll send you an invite there. Why would they have hired you if you didn't seem to know anything about how the law works?
See, you don't even listen to the people.
The question was, why did they hire you?
I wasn't hired. I was an intern.
You were an intern, and you didn't know that you needed to talk to the Bureau of Consular Affairs? You didn't know that?
That's not relevant.
It's not relevant. It's not. It's literally the only part of this that is relevant.
That's your own story you told
I wrote
us.
the appeal, and she was granted the services or the benefits she applied for, which I think was permanent residence. But I don't recall what it was specifically. And then a second one that I worked on was a Middle Eastern man had entered the United States undocumented twice in his life. And the third time he entered, he was married to a woman in Washington State. And the strangest thing, they were traveling together on Amtrak in Montana or Wyoming when immigration stopped them and placed him in detention. And what we were asked to do at that time was to
figure out first of all who you needed to send a letter to, which department, because you didn't know yet. You still don't know. And then what was the second part you needed to do?
Why are you such a asshole?
Because you're a fucking liar, dude. You're just sitting here lying, and I'm laughing. Everybody here, even the people on your side, know that you're lying right now. Like you didn't work in this industry. Like you don't know where somebody gets their visa from, but apparently you were petitioning them to undo their ruling, but you just weren't sure who you were petitioning.
It was a judicial case, so.
A judicial case?
But anyway,
you don't even speak like somebody who's
doesn't make sense.
Nobody would say judicial case. What are you talking about?
To have him be able to stay.
I don't care.
Because he was now married to a
I don't
U.S.
care.
citizen.
Get to your point. I don't care about this story anymore. Let's get back to the point. I don't care about
You
your
don't
lies
care
anymore.
about truth is what you don't care about.
We weren't even talking about this. And this story's taking forever and it's boring. So let's get back to the part where let's get back to the part. Let's get back to the part. Let's get back to the quote. Let's get back to the quote that we were talking about that you loved so much. About how they were emptying. About how they were emptying. Well, you said it was true. How they were emptying jails.
And it's not true.
Yeah. So what part of it was true?
Okay. Are you going to let me finish a thought?
Maybe. But if you're not answering my question, then no. Which part of it did... Okay, so my question is which part... So my question is which part of it was true?
Um, and I'm going to use it by comparison.
Nope.
Because
I need you to know
what
I need you to tell me which part is true.
People from prisons, people that terrorists, and other people. Just like Felicia said, on the imaginary
was that the
border,
quote?
on
Wait,
each
hold
side
on,
of
hold
the
on,
imaginary
hold on. No,
border, as
stop,
Felicia
stop,
said,
stop, stop,
there are
stop,
bad
stop,
people.
stop, stop.
My name
stop.
is Felice. Felice, not Felicia.
You did this last time too, dude. I muted your mic. Again, that's not the quote. You don't get to change what the quote is. The quote is they are emptying their prisons. Were they emptying their prisons and sending those people to the border?
That was not the first time. That was not the first quote that was presented.
That's a separate quote. There's two quotes. There's one
Okay,
that
give me the
says
quote
that we're
again.
emptying our prison. Well, no, the one we're talking about that's in dispute that he said, and just to clarify what we're talking about, you said if you take out everything but the poisoning the blood of our country, it's true. And so I read the quote. Nobody has any idea where these people are coming from. So just based on that first statement, he's about to just lie and completely contradict the first part. And we know they come from prisons. We know they come from mental institutions and insane asylums. We know we know they're terrorists. Nobody has ever seen anything like we are witnessing right now. It is a very sad thing for our country. It's poisoning the blood of our country. It's so bad, and people are coming in with disease. People are coming in with every possible thing that you could have.
So what's the question?
Well, the first part of the question is nobody knows where these people came from or coming from, and then the rest of it is explaining where these people came from and a lot of specifics about them. So, how do you square those two things?
That he's an idiot and doesn't know how to speak.
Okay.
That's how I would square the first one.
Okay, and the second part is
one.
Go ahead.
I believe was this quote. When was this quote given? Sorry, if anybody has the.
It was like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, he was the president. He would have. He has.
He wasn't the president a couple weeks ago.
At
This
some
was
point in
this was
United
at a
States
campaign
history,
stop.
on the earth of that is the third rock from the sun. He was the president of the United States for 4 years.
Oh, but why would he have the, so again, does he have the data from, he's talking about the people that are coming across right now. He lost his, he's not getting briefings anymore. He lost his security clearance. So I'm wondering how he's getting this information.
So you're adding facts.
Which all of this has been
you're
fact-checked by
adding facts that
factcheck.org.
weren't given to me to begin with.
Well, actually, when IB showed up and read the quote, he said this was from, I can't remember if he said 2 weeks or 2 months ago. It was one of those two. I can't remember. He gave the date of when the quote was given. I didn't think I needed to tell you that he wasn't the president.
It was like
You host just brought up
October
and
5th.
added a caveat that, oh well, he wasn't the president when he said it.
Yeah, because you said he was the president, and I said, well, he's not anymore, so how's he getting this data? Because you were trying to say that he knows these things because he's the president, but he's not getting briefings. He lost his security clearance. He's no longer the president, so I'm wondering where he's getting this information. And more importantly, where are you getting this information where you're saying it's true?
I don't work for
Well, where'd
Trump,
you
so
get
I
it?
don't know
'Cause
where he gets his information from.
Okay, but you said it was true, so where'd you get your information?
The news media experience.
Experience? You don't get information from experience. That's not how information works.
You're an ass. Just boot me. There's no point in anybody.
You're just
talking
running
with
now?
No.
I asked you specifically where you got the information, and you said experience, and now I'm an ass because I had the audacity to say that's
the news
nonsense.
and experience. I said the news and experience.
Okay, what news? What news?
There was an article not too long ago about an MS-13 prison gang member that was caught in the United States.
Okay, gotcha. And how'd they get here?
I have no clue. I didn't read the article that much.
Okay.
Let me add something. Let me add some color to this because I just want to say I've watched every Trump rally. I watch all Trump's speeches. Like I am aware of where this stuff comes from. He started saying that he knew a guy, right? Let me just I'll read this from like a fact check article. This is about fact checking Trump and this whole story because he said this at Trump rallies. This thing about they're emptying the insane asylums and the mental institutions.
Police.
And when
real quick before we move on to that, I want to be clear that MS-13 is a gang that originated in Los Angeles. Just to be clear on that, it's not like a cartel gang that came. They've worked with the cartel, but they are an American gang. They originated in Los
Mexico,
Angeles.
So
I didn't say Mexico. I didn't say.
Well, we're talking about immigrants.
We're talking about Mexico.
So it kind of seems like you were talking about an immigrant.
Okay. But this is what I want to say about the mental institutions. This is from a mid-April speech, which I listened to from the NRA. This is where Trump says he got the story from. I read a story not long ago where a man who takes a large segment of people in a mental institution, not in Mexico, mind you, truth seeker, in a South American country, a doctor, sounded like a great man, actually. He said he no longer has anything to do. He used to work, this random South American doctor used to work 24-hour days. He said all of our patients have been released into the United States of America. Trump added more color to the story in a Thursday campaign speech in New Hampshire. There was a story, this is quote, there was a story recently about a psychologist or psychiatrist, but a psychologist who worked in mental wards in South America. And he said, I worked 24 hours, a good man. He worked 24 hours a day taking care of mentally ill people. And he was sitting there reading a newspaper and they asked him, what's he doing? He said, I have no more work. The people have all been let go into the United States of America. Can you believe this is what they're doing? So facts first, Trump's campaign was unable to provide any evidence of the existence of a news story about a no longer busy doctor at a South American mental institution. And the campaign also failed to provide any evidence that South American countries are emptying mental health facilities to somehow send patients into the U.S. Representatives for two anti-immigration organizations told us they had not heard of anything that would corroborate any of Trump's story, as did 3 experts at organizations favorable toward immigration. So they not only asked people who don't want any immigrants in this country, they asked people who do, and nobody could provide any evidence that any of that was true.
I agree. I wouldn't believe it even if I had heard him say it. That's
the part that you said was true.
I did not.
You said that.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
Don't make me go back to the quote. Here,
you
nice
said
try.
take
nice
out
try.
the
Good
part
thing this is
about
all on video.
You said take out the part about poisoning the blood, and the rest is true. This is the rest.
Nobody
sweetheart.
has any idea where these people coming from, and we know they come from prisons. We know they come from mental institutions and insane asylums. That is the part that you said is true that I have now disproved.
Whoopsies.
No, Felice. Sorry, Felice. You said there were 2 separate quotes. You said there were 2 separate quotes.
Hey, this is your quote that we stop talking.
This
is your quote that you wanted to focus on with the poisoning of the blood. This is your quote. We are only talking about your quote. You came up here and told us that if you take out the poisoning of the blood, all the rest of this quote is true. I am reading only from one quote that you said, take out the poisoning of the blood, and the rest is true. And now I'm going piece by piece, and I'm disproving what you are saying.
In conversation?
I am disproving what you are saying piece by piece, sir. That's what's going on.
We record all these. That's word for word what you said. You said take out the part about the blood, and the rest of it is true. That's
Felice,
you came up. Hold
Felice,
chest, Jay.
So,
no, this is
why
Jay. It's not your turn right now. It's not your turn right now. It's not your
asylum.
turn right now. There you go. You got muted. You came up full chest and said,
Felice,
take out the part about the blood. Nope, not your turn, sweetheart. I know, impulse control. It's tricky. You
Felice,
came up. Nope. See, I'm talking. I'm talking. I am talking. Nobody wants to hear
Felice,
you.
why did you mention the imaginary doctor
with your full chest.
I'm disproving the part of the quote that you said is true. I'm showing you where I'm finding the etymology of this quote and showing you because I know where it came from. I watched
That
every single.
doesn't
Stop
disprove
talking.
that
You
quote.
you wait till everyone's talking and then you interrupt. It absolutely does
And
disprove
it
it.
does not.
I'm looking up where this quote came from, and I know where it came from because I've listened to every single Trump rally. And when people started pressing him, wait, what are you talking about? What immigrants? What insane asylum? This is what he said. Then he said, "Oh, it was an article. It was some South American doctor couldn't name a country." There's no article. They asked people in his administration that could not provide the article. Do you understand how fact checking works? I used to be a historical researcher. This is what you do. They went and asked Trump's organization, then they asked anti-immigration organizations. Do you know what he's talking about? They had no idea. Then they asked pro-immigration organizations. Do you have any idea what this guy is talking about? No idea. Just don't die on this hill. Let's move on.
If you were a
You're muted, dude. No, I know you're talking, but you're muted, so we can't hear you. I think Jen did that. Jen's a bully. Truth Seeker, you're muted, dude. Nobody can hear you. Do you think he's just going off?
I don't know.
I
Are
don't
you
know.
yelling? Because we can't hear you, sir.
I think he might just be going off. Jen got him on that one. I had the mute button pretty.
You didn't do that.
Yeah, that was Jen. Jen got him on that one. All right, dude. See you later. Guess what, though? Guess what? We have all the vowels now. We went from truth to truth.
Your imitation, the guy
Yeah.
imitating you was
truth
not
seeker.
doing a great
People
imitation.
need to stop
Not doing.
replicating my names.
Oh, no.
All right.
That was
Welcome.
embarrassing. You need to do something about that guy.
So, can we get to the vermin comment, please? Because I got it pulled up right now, and this is not what Trump said at all.
That's a different quote. We're talking about than we were just talking about. Do you want to switch quotes?
Well, they were talking about how he said that the word vermin was correlated with Schmittler, and I'm reading it right now, and obviously people missed the big C word before the word vermin.
What are you? Okay, wait, hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Are you talking about Trump's quote, or are you talking
Yeah.
about a quote from a Schmoxy quote?
Yep, this is
Let me pull
so.
up.
This is
Let me
Trump's
pull up
quote.
Trump's quote. Hold on. So we're gonna pull up because the quote we were just working off of was the one about poisoning the blood. That's a different one.
You pull up that one, and I'll tell you what the Schmittler one said.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna.
What do you think our claim is, though?
Oh, it's not your claim. I hear a lot of people talking about the word vermin.
Yeah. So what are you trying to say? That
Just
the way
Hitler,
Trump-
also Mussolini said
that
it.
Trump used it, like Trump was using it differently. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yep.
Why do you think it was different?
I mean, it's context that matters to me, anyways.
Do you think it's ever a good idea to like call your political adversaries vermin?
I don't think it's a good idea to call people domestic
Well, let's
terrorists either.
read the quote.
So,
We pledge
yeah.
to you. This is the quote from Trump. This was on Veterans
Yeah.
Day, if I remember rightly. We pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country, that lie and steal and cheat on elections.
Right.
Okay. So what's your contention here?
Of it. They'll do anything, whether legally or illegally, to destroy America and to destroy the American dream.
Okay. I guess I missed the communist part. I thought people were just saying that he said vermin. That's like when
He
I
wants
pulled
to
this
get
up.
rid of me, Truth Seeker. That's not very nice, is it?
Oh, you're not a communist. You're a socialist. Remember?
Oh, I
Wait.
guess I could stay. He says the
Wait,
same
what's
thing.
wrong with why do we need to root out and get rid of communists, Marxists, fascists, and radical left thugs?
Well, I mean, you know what? After I
By the
talked
way,
to police-
fascists would be like all of his party. The fascists don't exist on the left, so that's silly. But I would
Right.
appreciate, and if he got rid of fascists, he'd have to get rid of himself, which would be silly. But why do we need to get rid of communists?
Well, I read the Communist Manifesto last night, and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, why do we need to get rid of communists?
Well, they don't value families. They don't value individuality.
That's
Why do we need to get?
absolutely not true.
It's
Wait,
in the Communist Manifesto. Do you want me to
It
pull it up?
is not.
Do you want me to
Wait,
pull
but
up Marxist?
hold on.
You
Wait,
don't want
but
me to?
even
Okay.
hold on. Even if that was true, why do we need to get rid of them?
Well, because it wants to destroy women. Like it's so weird how they phrase it, and then maybe Felice can explain why
No,
they
yeah,
want to
you can
destroy
pull up the
women.
quote. Pull up the quote
Yeah.
and read it to me.
It's not a quote.
Pull up
It's
the
in.
quote.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Yeah. Well, from whatever you're reading from
It's
the
the
Communist
manifesto. Yeah.
While you're
Yeah,
while
go
you're
ahead.
pulling that up, I just
Where it
want
says
to
they
point.
want to destroy women, you're saying the Communist Manifesto says they
Yeah.
want to
That's
destroy.
why
While you're
I had to come up here and talk to
Wait,
Felice.
while you're pulling that up, though, I need to we are not a country that's based on an ideology, and certainly not an economic ideology, right? So
Yes,
this
which
quote
we
is
already
literally
went
saying
over.
this quote is literally saying if people disagree with my economic policy, we have to get rid of them. And by the way,
Well,
I'm gonna call communists and Marxists, people who believe in communism or Marxism, I'm going to say that they lie, steal, and cheat on elections, that they'll do anything, whether legally or illegally, to destroy America and to
Yeah.
destroy the American
me.
dream. That is not the goal of communists. That is not the goal
Well,
of Marxists. They do not want to destroy America or the American dream.
really, Jay.
Really?
Jay,
Show
what
me.
are they do?
Yes,
Jay, what are they
really.
doing to Trump supporters right now?
Nothing. Making fun of
Bullshit.
you mostly. What are
No.
we doing to Trump supporters?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. No, what
No,
is happening to Trump
seriously,
supporters?
what is it?
Calling them all domestic terrorists. They're
A lot of them
extreme threat
are.
to our. No, they're not, Jay.
Why do you think?
Jay,
what
what's
do
a
you-
domestic terrorist?
I would say that well, first of all, you have the Proud Boys. They're definitely domestic terrorists.
Listen, not all MAGA are domestic terrorists, or not all Republicans are, but certainly not. But
You have a lot of people who think we are.
Well, I think that it's possible that some of you. Here's what I think. I think some are, and I think most of you would be complicit. Most of you would sit back and let it happen. The fact that you think that this quote is okay, and that we need to root out communists, Marxists, and fascists and get rid of them, tells me that you're just one step away from saying, yeah, genocide's fine.
Oh, come on, Jay.
Well, no,
Would you
let me ask you the question
don't
then.
do that.
If we're going to root them out and get rid of them, how are we going to get rid of Marxists and communists? How are we going to do that?
Get rid of the ideology, not
How?
the person.
that's
How?
no.
Wait, hold on.
You
Stay with
can't
me,
get.
please.
If this is
Please,
America,
don't.
anyone can.
Hold on. I want to know how you plan on doing that.
How do we plan on doing that?
Yeah.
Bringing back individuality, bringing back
How?
family moral.
How?
What do you mean how, Jay?
How?
That's not
I mean,
anything
how,
that
dude?
Marxism is
People are-
against. You have no idea what Marxism is. It's an economic.
Okay, so I got the manifesto pulled up here.
No,
Which
no,
part
I'm
do you
not.
wanna
I'm not
talk
done with
about?
this line of questioning. I want
Okay,
to
Jay.
know how you're going to get rid of people's ideas.
Well, just the same way they're trying to get rid of our ideas by banning it.
Nobody's trying
Yes,
to get.
they are.
Nobody's trying to get rid. Your ideas are not banned. You are sitting
Marx
here talking to
advocated
me.
for the freedom of women, right?
You're
This is
sitting
what I
here-
want to say. Wait, I need to say something because I'm not
Can
going to
we-
let Truth-Seeker wait, let me say one thing. Marx advocated for the freedom of women, which is the same reason I'm not married. Marriage was based on chattel slavery. You don't understand this because you don't understand the time in which Marx was writing, but women were not free then. We did not have rights as men did. We did not have the vote. We were literally bought in marriage contracts and sold from our fathers to the people we were sold to. All Marx did was argue that this is not how women should have to live. And if you think that's destroying a family to say that women shouldn't be bought and sold as chattel slaves, then that's your issue. That's what you're now lobbying
But you're not
for.
being bought and sold as
That
chattel
is
slaves. You are
no.
free. You
When
have the
Marx
right
was
to vote.
writing,
You have the right to
marriage
participate.
contracts were chattel slavery. Do you not understand? When
I
Marx
understand that,
wrote
but
the
if you
Communist
support that-
Manifesto,
Yes.
women did not have rights.
Yes, but
Women
you
were
have
not
rights
people.
now.
We
But if
did
you
not
support
have the
this-
vote.
You have
Do you understand where
Republicans.
the saying women and children first came from? It came from when the suffrage movement came around and women finally noticed, oh, we're not people, then women and children first. That was the argument. So women would shut up and not want the vote.
The argument
Okay.
is against.
All
the
Marx
argument
ever
is
said
against,
is women are their own
Okay.
individuals.
I guess you're
Did
just
you
gonna
hear what he
shout.
said when he said we're going to fight against individualism? Because Marx said women are their own individual people who deserve their own individual rights and their own individual vote. And this guy came on here to try to argue against that.
I mean, I guess you're just gonna shout over me whenever I talk now. So
See, I don't know if you noticed there.
Excuse me, I'm passionate
Hold
about
on.
women's rights. It's something that has
you're
affected my
passionate
life.
while
Excuse
supporting a
me.
man that wanted.
So I'm going to mute you. I don't know if you noticed this. While Felice was talking, you accused her of shouting over you. Then, when it was your turn to talk, and there was silence, and both of us gave you room to talk, you're like, so I guess you're just going to shout over me. No, when it's your turn to talk, it's your turn to talk. And it's your turn to talk now.
Yeah, well, I've been listening for a while now, and this is not uncommon for you guys to do, but I appreciate you allowing me up here. So do you want me to read what he said or no?
Sure, read whatever. And
So
again,
what?
I would just like to say Marxism is not the Communist Manifesto. The Communist Manifesto was written by Karl Marx, right? So these are two different things.
What's your plan here? You going to read that, or?
No, I mean, what
Well, then,
what do you
what are you going to,
like,
you're just going to
Felice?
sit
What
here
do
in
you mean?
silence?
What do you mean Marxism and
Read the
this
fucking
manifesto
quote,
is not
dude.
the same?
Read the quote. No, I can go to the next person. I don't know. Like, are you gonna
No,
read the
I
quote
want to
or
know
no?
what she meant by this is not the same,
Read.
because if I'm not reading this,
Answer, just read it or don't. And then I could read all the quotes about what Marx thought about women being enslaved by the head of the family.
no,
So
because
I've
all
got
you're
those
going to
lined
do is
up.
just take
Go
everything
ahead.
that
I'm
I'm
ready
not
for
reading
it.
out of this
Read it.
manifesto and just counter my
No,
argument and
because
Yeah.
make
you're
him
gonna
look like a
try
good
to cherry
guy.
pick something and twist it, and it's not true.
Okay,
Marx was
great.
so
Yeah, it's almost
defensive of
like you
women's
read.
independence and freedom.
Yeah, dude, you said you read this last night. You might not be a fucking expert. You should be man enough to realize that and understand that yes, you read something, and no, you don't know everything, and it makes sense for Felice then to add additional quotes by Marx. If we're talking about Marxism, which is Marx's ideology, or the people that follow what Marx said, then it does make sense to not just only include the Communist Manifesto, right? So you
Okay,
read part of what Marx said last night. That makes you not an expert. I applaud you for reading it. That's great. But it does make sense for Felice to then respond with more things Marx said if we're talking about Marxism,
Listen
right?
to towards the end of his life, Marx, as is seen in excerpts from L.H. Morgan, continues his feminist position. The modern family contains in germ not only slavery, but also serfdom, meaning women are slaves in marriages. That's what his position was. So now read your quote.
what are you reading from so I can study it, so I can read something else? Because this is all I have to read from Marx. I don't know what books you're reading from.
If you genuinely want to talk about things to read of Marx, we can talk about that at a
That's
later
the
date.
only.
But just
That's
read the
literally the
quote
only
because we're
reason
not.
why I
I'm not
came up
going
here.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you gonna read the quote or what's the plan here?
Well, she already explained what
All
it
right.
was, so there's no sense of me reading it. She already explained it.
Dope.
Because you didn't, yeah, Marx is hard. Listen, Marx is hard to understand. The Communist Manifesto was translated from Old German. It's confusing, but Marx's position, and when you said he's destroying individualism, I knew what he meant individualism and the family, because Marx said it's not okay for women to be bought and sold in chattel slavery in marriages.
Let's keep in mind this. Number one, the part of that quote, like Republicans think that that you actually need to get rid of Marxism and that you need to get rid of communism. That just the very thought alone is a danger to them. So that's why I wanted to ask, like, what do you mean get rid of it? When Donald Trump says that we need to root out the communists, I had a farm growing up. I had a garden growing up. You know, when you root out, you dig in and you remove it. That's how you get the roots out, right? We're going to root them out. They'll do anything, whether legally or illegally, to destroy America and to destroy the American dream. There is nothing in Marxism that is anti-constitution, unless we're talking about like the part where it says all men are created equal, or the men this, men that, and that it doesn't include women. In which case, then yes, I guess like advocating that women are equal would be anti-American if you're going to read the documents as they are and not how they've been interpreted. But that's the part of this that I don't think Republicans understand. By the way, this same Republican Party that currently has multiple members who advocate against no-fault divorce. In Ohio, you had a single Republican argue that marital rape is not possible. He voted no on a bill that said marital rape should be illegal. Republican. And then when was confronted in the hallway by a reporter, he said, and I quote, "That was a great vote. That was a great vote." Like, Republicans defend putting women backwards all the time, and you're going to come on here and be like, Marx doesn't advocate for women? What are you saying? When you just, with your little dog whistles of, oh, they're destroying the American family, you're talking about women. You're talking about women working. You're talking about women having careers. You're talking about women choosing not to have a family. You're literally advocating against women when you talk like that. Everybody sees through the dog whistle. You're not the good guys here. You're really not. Like, these men that think that they need to put women back in the kitchen because that's where they're happy and that's where they belong, just raising kids. Like, I'm sorry. I've had a kid. I've been with my ex when she was dealing with postpartum. That fucking sucks. You lose yourself. As a father, I've lost bits of myself after having a child because you focus on them. As a mother, you lose all of yourself. You for years, you are not an individual. You are a caretaker, and you do everything for that child at every minute. So let's not be upset and try and force women to do something like that, because it's hard on them. It's hard on them mentally. It's hard on them physically, and they absolutely should have a choice. They shouldn't be told that that's the only option for them. And that's what the Republicans come on here and advocate for. They're like, oh, we're saving women. We care about women. Why? Well, because we want to turn them into birthing centers who shut the fuck up and make us dinner. That's what we want. Sorry. Rob's going to come back up.
Just to be clear, I love what you just said, but yeah, and Marx saw women, like they call it the woman question, as emancipation. Like, he saw it the same way he saw the slaves needing to be emancipated.
Yeah, I appreciate that conversation again. Hey, are you guys only taking opposing views right now?
We were, but you were alone in the box, so go ahead.
Yeah, I just had this. I'm just wondering if you guys have also experienced things like this recently. You all saw the videos of the hostages being released by the T group in the last couple days, and how some of them are being friendly to the H group guys. Shaking hands, exchanging water and whatnot.
Words, can't we? I think we can say those words, right?
I don't know. I was just on a live where I got yelled at for it. So.
Oh, okay.
So anyway. So what I'm seeing on the left are people kind of starting to minimize the atrocities of the H group. And so I made a TikTok, I made a video basically saying that, hey, we're not going to do that. These guys are bad. The IDF is bad, and so is the H group. And my comment section just exploded with people telling me I was a Zionist.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, look, Hamas is not Hamas is there's
No,
plenty
listen,
to criticize there.
you
Yeah,
can
and there's
condemn
plenty
the
to,
things Hamas have done, but you came up here saying, based on a video of hostages who were being released saying bye to their captors. Like, I mean, now you're talking about a psychological thing that is unknowable. Like, these people were in captivity. It's called Stockholm Syndrome. Look it up. When you begin to sympathize or empathize with the position of your captors, it's a psychological thing.
There's also been
nobody. You don't tell a hostage how to behave when they're being handed off to somebody else.
It's also
my advice to you.
We're also in the midst of a propaganda war as well. It's really hard to believe the individual stories that are coming out. A lot of times, there's been so many stories that have turned out to be lies in either. Really on either side, but you may have a Palestinian praising the Israelis or an Israeli praising Hamas. Like, it's really, really difficult to know if the videos coming out are staged or not. I think that's that part in and of itself, and that's why I haven't got too tied down in the minutia of those things. Like, when you look at it from a bird's eye view, you see that you have a terrorist organization, or two of them, if you want to call the IDF a terrorist organization. I think that would be fair. But you have two organizations who have done horrific things, and there are thousands and thousands of innocent people who are suffering. I think sometimes we get so down in the minutia and the small things and these videos that come out that tug at our heartstrings that we forget that on the surface of it, it's two warring factions who are taking out innocent people.
Yeah, and I totally agree. The part that was disconcerting to me is when I saw that I was like, don't you people see you're looking at a literal piece of H group propaganda? And it was just disconcerting to me on the left that other leftists couldn't see obvious propaganda for what it is. But anyway, I just wanted to say that to you because you guys are cool. I watch you often. And hello from Ogden. You're from Utah. I just learned that.
God bless you. God bless you. You poor
Dude,
man.
I live
Weber
on
State.
Huh? What?
She said Weber
I
State.
said Weber State.
Yeah, you're in Utah too, or anyway, never mind. No, I live on historic 25th Street. If you know where that
Oh
is.
shit. Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
an area that's changed in the last 15 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. They just put a new building in that they had to halt construction on like 8 months ago because it wasn't up to code. None of the wood was fireproof, so they have to tear the whole thing down. It's hilarious.
What wood is fire? Is there wood that's fireproof?
Yeah, and a lot of new buildings, they treat it with like fireproofing stuff.
Okay,
I mean,
so not
fire
the wood
resistant.
itself. Okay, I was like, yep, we should build more of those trees. If there's, we could really eliminate forest fires if the trees didn't catch on fire. That would be terrific.
Yeah, but maybe don't go camping in those woods because,
It's gonna be hard to start a fire. Good point. Yeah. No,
Anyway,
my sister lives in Morgan, so not far from you. So I'm up there fairly regularly.
yeah, if you know where Moore's Barbershop is, you're literally
do.
at my house.
Oh yeah, I know right where you live. Everybody go to Moore's Barbershop and then say hi to Rob.
Well, you know what? My ham radio call sign is in my username.
Of course, you
Google
have
that.
you have a ham radio.
Yeah, I've been licensed most of my life.
All right, so Rob Fumbler. If you have a ham radio, check him out.
A third generation, in fact. But if you Google my call sign, it has my address because it's a federal license.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Well, there you go. You just doxed yourself. Well done.
I don't care. So that's
It doesn't. give a
anyway,
fuck.
I'm gonna jump off. You
Thanks,
guys
Rob.
were great. You have a good day.
Appreciate it. You too. Elise, what's your ham radio handle?
I don't know. Wait, how do you tell it?
You don't.
I
You
was-
don't have one. You
I was
probably
talking
don't.
to Jen, our producer, our boss.
Our boss, the person in charge. I don't know if any of the people if you're in the box in your opposition, let me know. I'm just responding to a message real quick. Yeah, I guess. Is it doxing if you do it to yourself? Is it still doxing? Does doxing have to require another party doing it?
Doxing is when some information is released about something that cannot be found in the public domain.
Well, then that's not doxing. There we go.
Yeah. So just
All right.
for the record,
That's a big
let's
no.
talk about what it actually is.
I think that both people in the box are. I see Eddie and I see Anthony, LA. I missed the old. Did that?
Okay,
his account
guys,
get
tap the
permabanned?
screen. Let's get to 225. Let's see. Let's get to 225. Let's try to beat to 300,000 likes by 12:30, because that's my goal I set for myself. And also, let's share the live with your favorite or least favorite Republican. We've kind of been upset. Truth Seeker, if you're listening, I'm sorry I came in hot. It's just like I don't like when people say false things. It's just the women thing. I'm a woman. I'm tired of having my rights stopped on. That's what you got there.
Yeah, look,
Dragon Wolf says we do not deserve any likes. He's also been telling me to shut up during this
I've
live
seen that.
several times. Like, that's very kind of you.
He's been here. I think I messaged him earlier.
Don't apologize. I know. I just want to be fair. I don't like. I want to be able to have conversations without being so reactive. It's just when it comes to women's rights, you know what it's like. You know what it's like, ladies.
Yeah, look, we just want I want to be able to have a conversation where everything we say isn't responded to with a whataboutism. I just want to do that one day. I want to have a conversation. I want to be able to ask questions. I want to get to truths. I just want to be able to say something to critique something that was said without a whataboutism. I think that would be terrific. I think that would be absolutely wonderful if a Republican could come up here, talk about the things they care about, talk about the things that are said, defend what they're saying without a whataboutism. That would be terrific. I want to do that. And if we can't do that, that's fine too, but we'll just be a little grumpy. Felice is mute. You're muted.
I'd love a good faith conversation. Like, I'm totally willing to listen and to admit if I'm wrong, or like say, hey, we find common ground here. Like, that's good faith. Like, when people come up and are unwilling, we're like, hey, we just clearly proved based on what you said that was incorrect. Can you say that was incorrect? Nope. Absolutely cannot.
I was just laughing at the comments saying they want Felice to yell at them. Fee, yes.
I know. I do think I'm gonna charge. If you have a humiliation kink and would like me to degrade you for money, I'm open to the idea. Just message me.
Yeah, your DMs are gonna be so gross in about 5 minutes. Fee, yes, we are watching the debate tonight. We'll be watching that. For those of you who weren't here, we'll be streaming it on YouTube. The link for the YouTube channel is in my bio. You can get it there. 7:30, is that right? Is it 7:30 our time? Or 7?
It's 7 our time. So
Ryan on a mission. Felice wants you to he wants you to call him a little boy and tell him to like the live. That's what.
Ryan on a mission.
Yeah.
Ryan, you're a little boy. Like the live.
You're not very good at this. You're gonna be giggling.
No, I would be. I am good at it. I could be. Trust me.
Okay.
This
I
could
believe
be my new calling.
I believe is Red Crown opposition. I think so. Right.
No.
Maybe not. Okay.
But he's great.
All right, we'll talk to Red Crown for a second. He hasn't been up here because I missed my pee break.
Yeah, you. Okay, go pee.
I gotta stop drinking a gallon of water every morning.
Yeah, just a half a gallon will do.
Hi, Red. How are you?
Hey, Felice, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Oh, y'all looking for opposition or what?
Sure, but what do you have for us? You always have good stuff to say.
Well, 2 things. Let's see. Scott, what's his name? Scott Perry.
Oh, yes, I saw that article this morning.
You saw that this morning? Yeah, so don't you love electronics, you know?
Yeah, what did you get out of it? We were reading a couple quotes, like it's kind of an in-depth article.
Yeah, it could have been a little bit more deep, I think, which I think it is. I think they're still sorting through it. But it sounded to me like he was trying to push this guy into the DOJ and, to have an inside track, and also trying to ascertain some classified information that he might become privy to, and so I think it was a pretty shitty thing, especially for a retired a general from the National Reserve or something like that. I think he is. He's from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So then the other thing, the gag order was reinstated.
Was it just reinstated? I did not see
was.
that. This is great news. Did you hear that, Jay?
Yes,
Wash your hands,
yes.
Jay.
Loud and clear. I washed my hands. I'm just filling up my
Okay,
tank.
just
Good to see you, Red Crown.
Hey, how you doing?
I recognize the voice now.
There you go.
You're just you're that young guy.
Yeah, the young person. Yes, that's it. And Mr. You've heard of John Rust, R-U-S-T?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's running for Senate out of Indiana. His family, he was the chairman of an egg farm that his family owned in Indiana, and he was found liable for participating in price gouging of 2024 to 2008. But he is running as a Republican, for
he'll fit right in.
Yeah, I think he's checking all the marks, all the boxes.
There's something about like old white criminals that like the next step. You break the law, and then once you're old, you're like, all right, now that I'm old, I'm going to run for Congress, and I'm going to obviously be a Republican.
Well, yeah. Well, I guess getting a life in prison doesn't mean quite as much when you're old. You know.
I'm looking at his platform. First of all, definitely he made this website, and I don't know what he used as the template, but it's horrific. Uh, Border security, which is super important in Indiana. We're
Oh,
going to run on
yes,
that.
yes, yes.
Defending women's sports. That's really. And under that, John believes that there are only two
Oh,
genders, male and female, and that men should not compete. That's what he's running on in Indiana.
whenever someone says defending women's sports, like any men have ever in their life as a female athlete defended women's sports for one day in their life.
Yeah.
Somebody wanted to know my thoughts on Kissinger.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Please.
yeah, he died about 60 years too late.
Could be hundreds of thousands more people alive and who could have had children.
Yeah, and of especially of my generation could have been alive because I'm World War II. I'm World War II. I'm a Vietnam vet. So,
Well, we want you to keep going.
oh,
We
well,
want
Thank
you
you
to
for your
live longer than
service.
Kissinger.
oh, thank you. Well, I'm every morning I wake up, I said, a new record. So, want to keep that streak going,
Are
you
you
know.
still hosting your lives? I
Yeah.
haven't been like perusing as much as I used to be. You still doing
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I'm still doing it.
I love your lives. They're so calm.
I'm thinking of moving it to 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Central. Normally I start at 11, but I'm getting tired, so I think I'll move it to 10. I can get to bed a little bit earlier. You
Yeah,
know.
guys, follow Red Crown. He has a really informative live. It's really calm. I mean, how could you not be calm with Red Crown's voice? It's so soothing. But I really enjoy just sitting there as a fly on the wall. I think you host great lives.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, actually, I have a lot of good people, that come into the boxes, and like I said, every now and then we get a little feisty, but for the most part, we try to keep it under control. Like I said, when you're arguing, nobody's listening. So, you know, but anyway.
I'm gonna have to remember that. That's good advice. That's good advice.
Let's see here. Okay, I covered Scott Perry and John Rust, and then the gag order being lifted. Um, That's the three things going to be on my topic tonight. So,
Wait, with John Rust
Guys,
was
the gag
running
order
for
was in New York for the
New York,
appeals.
yeah,
The
yeah,
the
I got
Letitia James case,
reinstated.
just in
Yes.
case. So
I
so no one can talk about the staff of
I believe
Judge
we have one of
Engoron.
John's opponents in the box. I'm pretty sure. This is Travis. He's running for Senate, U.S. Senate in Indiana.
Mhm.
This may be. I haven't talked to Travis. I know Travis had messaged me. Travis, I'll bring you up next.
Yeah, let's see. Hold on a second. Likes to Fuzzy being yeah, Fuzzy. I enjoy booting you. Can you come up in this room and Felice? Can y'all boot him?
Just mute him in the comments. We'll just mute him for a couple minutes. That'll be fine.
I love Fuzzy.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Hey, look, I need to go take care of my mother. So you guys take care.
You
And
too.
thanks for having me up.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks
Let's
so
see.
much.
Bye-bye.
All right, Travis. Sorry, Travis. I don't remember if I got back to you guys or not, but welcome. It's nice
How
to
you
finally
doing?
meet you.
How you doing?
Good. How are you? Are you running against John Rust?
John Rust as well as Jim Banks, yes. And Jim Banks is, in my opinion, a bigger concern.
All right. I don't know Jim Banks well. What are we concerned about with Jim Banks?
Jim Banks is currently Indiana's House of Representative District Number 3. He is currently in office. He is running to fill Mike Braun's seat, who is stepping down to run for governor. He is fully supportive of the MAGA movement. He is endorsed by Donald Trump, and Indiana GOP actually violated their state law and party rules to endorse Jim Banks before the primary actually began.
That's not shocking at all. That's not even remotely shocking that they would do that.
I'm
Travis, do
following
you
you,
have a website?
Travis. So follow me back.
Okay. Yes, I do. It is TravisForCongress2024.com. I'm literally by myself. I am not a regular politician. I've worked factories, kitchens, and research most of my life. I want a better world for my daughter and my fiance, and that's what got me running.
So what are the issues you care about?
Okay, so my main platform is for the hot issues like reproductive rights and LGBTQIA equality. I do have a constitutional amendment drafted that would codify reproductive rights as well as gender affirming care, and just basically make it constitutional law that nothing can be decided by anyone outside of you and your doctor. All those decisions would be your sole privacy. It also stipulates that identity as well as gender are to be determined by the individual. Medical care is to be determined by the medical care provider, and no medical care provider can be prosecuted for providing consensual medical care.
I like that. I see on your website one of the first things you mentioned, which gets me going, is healthcare. What's your solution? It looks like universal healthcare is something you're in favor of. Do you prefer your own version, or are you looking at like Bernie Sanders Medicare for All or something different?
Similar to Bernie Sanders Medicare for All, set up similar to like the Nordic countries. They have very good results and positive results from the way they're set up. There is some issues that I think we can learn on doing more research into it to close those concerns and ultimately have a better system. But we are the only developed nation that does not offer our citizens any type of healthcare, and I feel like that's the same.
And your plan for that is to do like a constitutional amendment?
So my constitutional amendment, which would codify the privacy and basically it states no person born or naturalized in the United States or in the jurisdiction of the United States shall be denied by any local, state, or federal government any medical care, regardless of their race, religion, gender identity, or creed, nor will they be denied based upon their insurance status, disability, or criminal history. So it also covers everyone in that. And that can be the basis to set up a constitutionally foundation of universal health care.
So you want to do it so it's no longer looked at as a tax, but as a right?
Right. And see, the reason why I want to do it that way is because with how corrupt the SCOTUS is, the only way to get around them is to get directly to the document that they have to enforce.
Gotcha. Well, bad news though. They don't seem to care that much about what the document says. They don't seem to give too many fucks about that.
I understand, but I also believe in that we should be expanding the courts to match the number of circuits, but that's a whole separate issue.
Yeah. No, I like what's the have you been able to gather the signatures you need? Are you on the ballot?
So that is what I am currently in the process of doing. Indiana, the way that they're gerrymandered is extremely difficult for me to meet my goal. I need 500 signatures per district, which totals 4,500, but that's a minimum. They recommend an additional 100 just in case some can't be verified. Then you know you've hit that goal. Right now, everybody, Republican and Democrat, are kind of scurrying because Indiana is viewed as Republican because they are Republican leaning, but they're predominantly libertarian and they don't trust the government. So right now, with everything going on, they are very skeptical of anyone giving signatures.
Okay. And are you running independent? Or are you trying to run on the Democrat ticket? Obviously, I'd imagine you're not running as a Republican just based on your policies. Yeah.
I am running on the Democratic ticket. I consider myself progressive, but I am registered with the Democratic Party.
Okay. Cool. How can people help? Obviously, signatures. If you're in Indiana, on your website, it looks like you have a link for that.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. Yes. So I do have my form on my website, which you can download. It has my name and the location in which I'm registered with the FEC for the address. You can, if anyone would want to help with signatures that lives in Indiana, if you can download that, get you, your family, your friends to sign, and then send them back into me. And then when I get everything together, I take it to the Secretary of State and I submit those with my letter of candidacy for the Secretary of State. And then at that point, I will be on the ballot.
Okay. Is there anything else people can do to help you get your message out?
I do have an Act Blue that is in my bio as well as on my website. If anyone can donate, it'd be helpful. That's the one thing that I kind of lack because I don't like asking people money. I don't like asking people.
Just get that little princess to ask people for money. Look at that voice.
If anyone wants to see me, I will be in, Plymouth on Saturday, and then I will be in Porter on Sunday for a food drive at the fire department in Porter County, and I'll have her with me.
Awesome.
But
well, I've got an almost 4-year-old, so her voice is so cute.
That's how
I
it's.
love your platform, man. I love what you're doing. If there's things we can do, and I mean it's difficult for us sometimes, but if there's stuff in the future we can do to help get your message out there, we'd be happy to help you.
Yeah, just follow, share me out. I'm also on Twitter. All of my social media links are on my website. And again, I hate asking for money, and I know people can't spare it. But anything they can spare really does help, because if we can do word of mouth, then that'd be free. But I still need funds to help reserve spaces to talk to communities, and that's where I'm struggling right now.
What's your Twitter handle or X handle, whatever?
At real_Marshall_T. And I roast Jim Banks quite a bit on there.
Perfect. I'm following you now. All right, Marshall. Oh, sorry, I just assumed Travis, but it's Marshall Travis is the name, right?
Right. And to Liberal's question, again, they're more so libertarian, and libertarians I feel like do get painted kind of a bad rap because on economic and fiscal issues, yes, they are conservative, but when it comes to social issues, they generally just want everyone to be left the fuck alone and treated the same. And so with that, with giving the credit where it is due, it makes it much easier to have conversations with people.
I agree. Sorry, my mic wasn't turned on. I agree. I identify as a libertarian socialist, so I agree with you on that.
Well, thank you for having me up.
All
I
right.
gotta go get my daughter entertained.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
I'll see you.
We'll see you. Best of luck to you. Somebody said they were the exact opposite me in the comments, and they wanted to have a discussion about it. You're just jumping the request. I don't see who it was, but
Exact opposite you.
yeah. So not handsome. Boom.
Guys, tap the screen. Let's get to 275.
What's
and
the
share the live with your favorite or least favorite Republican.
What's the opposite of a mustache? Is it a soul patch?
Oh my god. I'm scared to know.
I don't know. I don't know what the opposite. Somebody just said Travis flip-flopped. I don't know. I don't know what that's about. If anybody wants to come up in response to Travis, we're happy to hear that too. Looks like it's unibrow. Unibrow, that's the flavor saver. Remember, I wonder if that one will ever come back. The flavor saver was tough. That was a tough trend.
What's that? What is that?
That's just the soul patch right there.
Okay, yeah.
Flavor. You don't. Now just think about what the name was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It was like a real dirtbag thing to say.
Yeah.
That was the, what was that? Like, what was that guy's name? Smash Mouth. I think the Smash Mouth guy had a flavor saver.
Yeah, oh god. Smash
Maybe.
Mouth, why do you always bring up these like weird bands?
Great
like
bands?
E6?
Why do I bring up great bands? Because I like music, that's why.
Oh, it's hilarious. What about Sugar Ray? Didn't he have a soul patch?
Yeah, that's actually who I was thinking of, is Sugar Ray. I said Smash Mouth, but I meant Sugar Ray. That's who I was thinking of. Yeah, why do you always bringing up bands like Sugar Ray?
Oh, I was just trying to think of an example that you could relate to.
What's your favorite Sugar Ray song?
I don't know any. What's that Fly? That one, just the one that they always freaking played. Like,
Just wanna fly.
Yeah.
That brings back memories for me of, I don't know, you guys probably had this in the,
But I think Smash Mouth guy had one too. Just to say, didn't they both?
Might have been. What was Sugar Ray's guy's name? Mark? Was it Mark? The name Mark? He looks like a Mark.
Yeah, his name's like Mark Leonard, or why do I want
Mark
to
Leonard. Leonard Leo.
Oh, Mark.
That's who it was. McGrath. Well done.
Mark McGrath.
A couple Mark McGraths. There were a few close, but yeah, Mark McGrath. I remember that every morning there's a halo. And my dad, it was the only time my dad ever said anything funny. He would wake me up and he would sing that song. He thought it was so stupid. And he would just change the words every morning to that Sugar Ray song. It's the only time he was ever funny. What did your dad sing to wake you up, Felice?
He did not.
Did he
didn't
not
come
sing
from
the
that
BYU
type of
fight
a
song?
family? Yeah. Both are abusive, singing and not singing. It sounds like
I
both
still
sound
know
like a
the-
bad position to be in.
I still know the BYU fight song by heart, and I still sometimes
God.
I'll do it to my daughter, and she gets so mad. She just goes, "Ugh, stop!" She's 3. She hates me already. She thinks I'm annoying already.
love
She tells me,
her.
"Thank you, thank you." She's wonderful. She called
What's it?
HVAC. She told HVAC to eat shit. Does somebody have that clip? I never did get that, by the way.
I
But at some
love
point on
that.
HVAC's live, she told him to eat shit, which was wonderful. Whoever that opposition was that's not coming up, you're welcome to come up. I had invited. Damn, I just got a note that somebody didn't want to come on camera and go live with us.
The
That's
GOP are all trashing George Santos in the media after his press conference. I love it. I wonder if they really will give themselves only a 3-vote majority to get rid of him. It will be interesting to see because this is why I want George Santos to go. Like, he stole from his own donors, the people that voted in his district. He stole from. Like, he needs to go. But, like, I think the Republicans are doing a lot of talk, a lot of grandstanding, but do I think they're going to actually vote him out? I don't know.
Did you see?
What do you think? Do you think they'll vote him out and only have a
I think there's gonna
3-vote
be
majority?
How many do they need to vote him out?
I don't know.
Is it just a simple majority?
Depends. I mean, we don't know. It depends on who's. I mean, I'm sure all the Democrats are voting.
Yeah.
For expulsion.
Yeah. What was
I think
that?
it's just a majority.
Who's that?
Why do you
Who's that redhead comedian that was hosting the Daily Show? I always forget her name. Michelle Wolf. Wow, I remembered it right when I said it. Did you see? She was talking about George. Let me see if I can find it. She did a clip on George Santos. It was, yeah, here it is. It was so funny. She's dead right. Let's do
To
this.
get thrown out of Congress, and he thinks it's unfair.
Oh, you need
because everyone else
2/3
is
to
corrupt
expel a
too,
member.
Which, yeah, definitely. We know the government is corrupt, and all these guys are doing the same thing you do, George. The difference is they're doing it way better than you. It's so easy to figure out your crimes. It's not even fun. It's like doing an escape room in a gazebo. And the thing is, I do believe you, George. I do believe that congressmen are getting drunk, sleeping with lobbyists, and profiting as much.
I want to point that out, by the way. This is a clip I think has went the wrong way. He talked about getting drunk and sleeping with lobbyists and missing the vote. That is very specifically about one person, and it is not a congressman. Does anybody remember Lauren Boebert sprinting up the stairs
Yeah,
because she
she
missed the vote? Has
Yeah.
anybody else noticed Lauren Boebert keeps being out on the town with different people? She does proxy votes all the time. I feel like the media missed this one. George Santos is very clearly, specifically talking about Boebert. And should we talk about Boebert now, or is this an off-air thing? Maybe this is your call. This is one of those things where we need a handler. I messaged you about Lauren Boebert the other day.
Are you
Is this-
talking about
Is it?
your
I'm just saying. Is
confession
this
or-
off-air or on-air?
I think it's fine. Just choose your words carefully. I think
All
it's
right.
fine.
Here's the thing about leaving
Famous last word.
Here's the thing about leaving conservatism. It is hard to leave all conservatism behind. It is hard to when you learn about the treatment of women historically by conservatives. It's gross. When you look at just like the internal misogyny that like I've had to sort through of my own through years of therapy, and then just being like told
Whisper
by
said stop.
Stop. He knows where it's. Listen, I'll leave it at this. I hate Lauren Boebert. I can't stand Lauren Boebert at all. But like, give me one night with Lauren Boebert. That's all I'm saying. Just one night, Lauren Boebert and a little lobbyist money. That's all.
I think
and
a
I'm
lot
not proud
of-
of this. I'm not proud of this at all. It's an embarrassing thing about me. I hate this about me, and it's something maybe I'll need to call my therapist and we need to address, because
hates
somewhere
Lauren Boebert.
somewhere in my subconscious I have a soft spot not only for Lauren Boebert, but I'm starting to get a soft spot for George Santos. I'm starting to really like George Santos. I think it's like I kind of like watching people crumble and fall apart. And I think that's probably what it is. I see people in a free fall and I think that's a kindred spirit. I know that feeling. I've been in the free fall before. And I think that's what it is. Like they have no idea what they're doing. They say whatever comes to their mind. it's always the wrong thing. Every time they say something, it's always the wrong thing.
You just
And
want to
they're-
take her on a date. Is that what the thing is? Is you know that Lauren Boebert
Yeah, I
is
just want to. I just
ethically
want to have a. I want to have a
nightmare.
substantive discussion
You
about
just want to talk to her
healthcare.
alone.
About
You just
healthcare.
want to talk to her alone.
I think I could win her over on healthcare. That's what I'm saying. And I do. If anybody could ever get me a one-on-one interview with George Santos, like whatever.
Who wouldn't love that?
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Yeah.
So amazing.
So there you go. That's
Yeah,
the story.
a
Flirt
date to the
convert.
theater.
There we
a
go,
date to the
Nathan.
theater. A date to the theater is all
See? But we're
RTP
go-
wants with Lauren Boebert.
We're going
He
back
wants to go see Beetlejuice.
That's right. That's right. And yeah, I'm going to stay for the whole show though. I'm going to stay for the whole show. I'm not trying to, and I'll bring my own vape. I'm not sharing. Anyways, I don't feel good. I don't
My
feel good
own
about that.
vape.
For those, I'm getting DMs right
He's
now.
not, he was very upset with himself about it. It's true.
I did. I came when I realized this about myself. Whoa! I went to both Felice and Whisper and said, "Hey, what do I do about this?" I said, "I don't
and
know."
you know what my actual answer is to that? Because like I said, you were me like before I started healing, and now I wouldn't say I'm a healed person. I would actually say like I've just healed so much I've gone too far to go back. So now I can recognize my unhealthy like behaviors. It doesn't mean I still don't have like the urges, but like I can separate them out. But you're still like probably like acting.
Well,
on some
hold
of
on.
them.
I recognized it,
But there's
and I
hope.
reached-
This is a message of hope.
Yeah, I recognize it, and I reached out for help to the two people who I'm supposed to trust. I reached out to both of you guys
and
for help.
I said, you're not alone. I know a lot of leftist men who feel the same way about Lauren Boebert.
What
Go
did I
ahead.
say to you about this?
Yeah, what Whisper? So you gave me good advice. You were like, not you, Whisper. Felice was like, look, this is just part of your process. Like, it's part of who you are. I get it, but this will fade. It'll go away. I promise you're going to be better than this. Because I didn't feel good about myself. Whisper was like, dude, there's so many hotter Republicans. He just sent me a list of Republican women that he thought were
That's how you
was hotter
handled
than
it?
Lauren Boebert.
No,
Was I right, though?
in all fairness, I did say my first response was like, I know so many leftist men that feel the same way. Bad Views feels this way about Lauren Boebert.
Whisper doesn't know what it's. Whisper is in a relationship where there is love and mutual respect, and
Yeah, we don't
they,
know
they
anything
look at
about
each
that.
other as equals. The
We
problem
don't
I have
know.
with the Lauren Boebert thing is that I don't necessarily look to Lauren Boebert as my equal. I think
Yeah,
that's
then
the
you should
internal
stay away from her.
misogyny. I'm
Look
like, I
at her,
can.
his embarrassed wife in the background,
Yeah, she's just in the corner.
looking down in shame.
Yeah, but that's what he says.
No,
This is anger.
this is Whisper.
That's anger.
This is anger. She's so disappointed.
Did I make her
It's
mad
disgust.
again?
Yes, it was you. Yes.
Okay, it wasn't me this time. Thank God. Anyways, yeah, I look if you're looking to date me, you can be one of two things. You can be brilliant and stimulate my mind, or you can be an absolute fucking train wreck. And there is no in between. You can be brilliant and have all your shit together, or be an absolute nightmare. And those are the only options for me. If you're in the middle there somewhere, sorry.
Stats on this.
He doesn't want you.
It's clearly one way. The scales are tipped in one very clear direction.
Yeah, look, and I don't have great. Listen, I don't make
the
good
past.
decisions. I'm not great at identifying the difference between having their shit together and crazy, because sometimes I think this is a person who has their shit together, and then I wake up to 75 text messages.
Okay.
and the rantings of a lunatic.
And
Yeah,
this
it
is
happens.
that's the very next day. Hey, I'm kind of into Lauren Boebert.
I know.
The next day.
I'll tell you what
Learns
happened.
nothing at all.
I woke up and I was just sitting there in bed scrolling through. First I was like, oh my God, there's and Jen and I had a discussion on how many text messages we thought there would be. I knew they were coming. I guessed 200. Jen guessed 70, which is further proof that everybody knows things more than me when it comes to others. And it was I think it was 76. And then as I was reading those, because of my ADHD, I was like, oh, a TikTok notification. I opened TikTok and there was Lauren Boebert talking. I was like, And I think maybe it was the comparison between the 75 texts I had got and the person who sent me the 75 texts and Lauren Boebert. And I think by comparison, I was like, yeah, Lauren Boebert's the better option here. I think that's possibly what happened. And then I messaged you guys and I was like, hey, we got to do something about this. Because I woke up this morning and I'm like, hell yeah,
I would love
Lauren
to do
Boebert.
something about it.
I just woke up and thought
Anytime.
Lauren Boebert's my girl.
This is way too, like, this is ridiculous. You have to stop this. You
Listen,
have to
Kate.
stop this.
No, Kate Skate nailed it. Kate Skate absolutely nailed
Where
it.
is Trash Boy failing at your job?
Oh, Trash Boy is horrendous at this job. You could not have picked a worse person to
Who
guide
is supposed to be wrangling this guy? Who's on duty right now?
It's supposed to be Hull right now. I think it's supposed to be Hull. Where is Hull at?
We've talked about this. You're not allowed to, you're not in control of your dating life at all. We need a 500.
No, we talked about it. It's a committee. It's a committee.
Deposit put down, a background check, with funding for that. I mean, you're not allowed to, you're not in
Okay,
charge
but
of your
what
dating
if
anymore.
what if after this there's a DM from Bobo?
Listen, no.
You have to let me. You have to.
No, I don't.
It's good for the brand.
He's gonna do it
It's good for the
regardless. You
brand.
guys don't even understand how to deal with him yet. Don't tell him no. Tell him to do it. You have
Here's
a
the
better
thing.
chance of him not doing it if you tell him to do it. You guys
This
don't
is-
even
this is the
understand how to
problem.
deal with him.
Oh, this is true. This is true. This is why the committee thing doesn't work, because he will go to the weaker person on the committee depending on the subject matter. Like, I'll go to this one for this specific thing, and he'll get away with it. And then no, I talked to somebody.
Jen, I need a poll. Jen, I need a poll right now that says if RTP gets DM'd by Bobo, can he? And I just want, we're gonna go by
No,
whatever
I
the
already
poll
told
says.
you you're not
Can
in charge of
he?
this anymore. We've already discussed this. You're not in charge of this part of your life anymore.
Well, the poll. Let's let the poll decide.
No, because I'm doing this for you. I'm just telling you no. Okay? This is for you. Just no.
This isn't gonna work.
It's not a long-term relationship, guys. Yeah, it's just
if any of you guys know Bobo or you know somebody that knows Bobo, my DMs are open. Set it up.
Catfished by a fake Bobo. Watch. I'm calling it.
That was my next thing to say.
I'm calling it.
Tomorrow he's gonna tell us he's dating Bobo. It's not gonna be her. This is the pattern.
It's gonna be the same person that catfished me last time too. I'll just fall for the same shit again.
Yep.
Oh, my
Every
God.
person in the Discord's name is going to be Lauren Boebert now. Everyone.
How many Ted Cruzes do we have still?
I don't know. How many people?
Maybe
Is anybody sharing their
700.
name?
Guys, tap the screen. Let's get to 300K. Tap Jay's face.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. We have 15 minutes. I'm gonna open up the floor.
I don't have 15 minutes. I just wanted to say that no, this is
Two
not
people
okay.
who resemble Lauren Boebert. We will open up the floor to people.
I'll see you guys later.
Loki lives in Colorado. Listen, I'm gonna open up the floor for 15 minutes for dating advice only. You can give me dating advice.
Oh, good Lord.
Felice, you're in charge because I wasn't supposed to be around. I'm trying to get my dog to the groomer, but I heard Jay trying to talk
Gotcha.
about his dating things again, which we already discussed before that you were giving up that part. So
I thought we were voluntarily celibate. Wasn't that the last agreement?
Exactly. Well, good
Yeah,
luck.
we are, but then also Bobo showed up and
Okay, well, I guess we'll have to fix this too later. Bye.
People are asking if there's a list to sign up to date you.
yeah, but you have to be an absolute dumpster
A
fire.
train wreck.
You
Are you not
have to.
listening to
You
this,
have
Sam?
to. Your life has to be absolute chaos, or you have to be like. You have to be like brilliant, like some sort of, I don't know, like a
Long-suffering
scientist
communist?
or a doctor, or like somebody who understands micro and macroeconomics, but you choose to like run a commune, right? You're brilliant and you're principled, or you have to be an absolute train wreck.
You know, and it's very Freudian because these are both sides of you, right? It's the duality of your personality because you are a trade wreck, but you're pretty brilliant. And I hate to say that. I hate to give you any compliments, but you are pretty brilliant. So you're just looking for the two sides of you, but you need to like merge these two sides into one whole healthy individual. And we're going to work on it.
Well, what's more likely, that I can turn Bobo smart, or that I can find somebody brilliant that's as much of a train wreck as Bobo?
I don't know. I'll keep you posted.
That's tough. And for all of you, listen.
Everyone's like, he described Felice.
Yeah, there will not be a romantic relationship between Felice and I. I would never do that to Bad Views. I would never do that to, and I wouldn't do it to HVAC either. I wouldn't do.
That's
I wouldn't
true.
do it to
That's
either
true.
of them. I love them. By the way, is anybody checked in on HVAC? Is he okay? All right, we're gonna go, you guys. We got to be quick with these, but I'm gonna bust through them. Official Eli, you're first. Everybody has 30 seconds. That's all you get. 30 seconds now.
Okay, hear me out. If Jay dates Bobo and we can make it public, he could fuck her career. He could take one for the team for us.
Could I do that better than she does it?
They keep fucking voting for her, so I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think I could make it worse. I think they would think that they were turning me MAGA. I think that she would be able to spin that, because keep in mind, MAGA just believes what they want to believe.
All right, fair point, but it was worth a pitch.
It's worth a shot.
No,
I
it's
appreciate
good.
it.
I like that. You could be on the campaign trail with Lauren Boebert.
All right, next up. Again, this is only dating advice. If you were in the box before not giving the dating advice, 30-second dating advice. This can go to Felice too if you want. Ready, Bob? We had a baby. It's a boy. You have 30 seconds starting now.
Jacob Chansley. And Felice.
Get out of here.
The
Jacob Chansley.
You're supposed to date that's the guy.
Yeah.
He's running for
QAnon
Congress in our
shaman.
state. Yeah, the QAnon shaman's running for Congress in our state. It's not even funny.
All right, Anthony.
Hello.
Hello. Your 30 seconds begin now.
Take Bobart to McDonald's. And
Then
another
where?
thing, one
Fair.
thing. And then one more thing
Listen,
before I go.
this would 100% work on Bobo. We go ice cream, and then we are to some secluded field. That's it. That's all you need with Bobo. Little ice cream, little secluded field. We're good.
And one more thing. Conservatives, they all need to go check in their hospital ward.
I don't even know what that means. There we go. There's too many men up here giving me advice. Mythsa. I don't know how to say that. Mythsa, go ahead.
My advice would be, since Colorado's a legal state, get her high first.
Well, I will be there. That's the only way I could make this work for myself. Also, yeah, it's the only way I could possibly explain it to myself the following day. I think that's one part that people are missing is
People are going to look at you different, and by people I mean me.
And me. The next day I'm going to be like, oh no. What? Not even the next
Not
day.
even, we're going to take a week off from this show.
About 30 seconds after, I'm going to be like, oh no, that's not good. That wasn't
Well,
a good decision.
at least you know you'll get some action from her.
I don't. Yeah. You're unselling me. Well done. Well done. Thank you. Next. Hezzy helps. How much time do we have? 10 minutes? I'm also going to turn this into you have 30 seconds. It doesn't have to be dating. It can literally just be anything you want to talk about. 30 seconds. I've got a timer up. You have 30 seconds to talk about whatever you want. We're going to jump through this 30 seconds at a time. Handyman, you are up maybe. Handyman, you have 30 seconds. Go.
All right. Boebert and Green fight it out, and Jay picks a winner.
Margarine is winning. She's in that CrossFit, and then you're gonna have to.
Then I
be
lose.
dating
Yeah,
Margarine.
that's a good idea. That's actually
in that scenario.
No, that's actually a good idea, because then Boebert will be too beat up, and then I'll be like, never mind, guys, I changed my. And then I'm just gonna. Then I'll have a great story. I'll be like, I got them to compete for a date. Marge beat the shit out of Boebert, and then I just went home. That would actually be a good story. That's a good point.
As long as she keeps her shoes on, we'll be all right.
You know she's got some weird. You can't date it.
As long as
That's a
she
good point.
keeps
Can't
her
date a
shoes
grandmother.
on.
Somebody said
Oh
I
my
can't date
gosh,
a
Lauren
grandmother.
Boebert
That's
is
true.
a grandmother, isn't she?
I've dated a grandmother before.
I wanted
Be
to
my
do a
first
dad
rodeo.
joke.
Go ahead.
He's dated a grandmother before, folks. That's nothing to him.
What did one ant say to the other? Nothing. Ants communicate by pheromones, not speech.
So stupid. Get out of here. That was so stupid. I hated that. Carol's going to give some good advice. Go ahead, Carol.
I'm sorry, RTP, but I would not respect you in the morning if what.
That's
Best
good enough
advice
for me.
yet. Thank you, Carol. Thank you.
Thank you. This is good. The shunning and making me feel bad. This works for me. Coming from a high
For a good
demand
old
religion.
I know you respond. Mormons respond to a shunning.
Yeah,
You
shame
go
is
to
shame is an excellent way to get to me. That was a good move. Loki lives in Colorado. Jay comes back walking like Conor McGregor, the Billy Goat strut. Loki, welcome.
What's up? Her best friend, she used to hang out with Methany, right?
What'd you say?
She used to hang out with Methany.
I used to?
No, Boebert did.
Probably.
Methany. She used to hang out with Methany. Come on.
Well, she got new teeth.
Yeah, but she's also was an escort, so why are you even worried about it? Just go pay her and throw her a bit of Methany in
Well,
your...
she's got money now, and
that's unconfirmed. Let's not.
That's a good point. Unconfirmed. All right, good try. I thought you were gonna say you had a. That we were gonna have a Colorado thing again. We can just ask questions too. You can ask questions to Felice. We got 7 more minutes. Anthony.
Hey, now listen, Jay. This is Anthony, the payment nerd hippie from Los Angeles. I got bananaed, so I had to create a new account.
Okay.
So it's
listen,
still
I saw your profile picture. Everybody knows who the fuck you are. We can see you.
All right. Now, Felice has the best person in the world to date. It's on her shirt. Snoopy fucking rocks. As always, Felice is ahead of the curve.
Thank
now,
you.
as for you, young man, father of a daughter.
Young man.
It's a shunda.
Father
that
of a
you
daughter.
Even say that out loud. How could you stoop so low? A man of your intellect wanting to do this, you should be ashamed. Seriously. And shave that fucking mustache off. Like grow the beard back or don't. But these half measures from you, it's just unacceptable. I love you like you're my little brother, but you've got to step up. And one last thing. Subjugating a woman, even as horrendous as Boebert, has to stop. We have to stop doing this. We can't say on our side how we're supporting women, and even in a joking manner, and this is meant with love, then go about trying to talk about how you want to, smash with her, right? Like, I get it.
Well, hold on. Is it subjugation if it's mutual? Is it still subjugation?
If it's mutual, if she decides to, I mean, I find the shame put around, like given to people in this country specifically around sex is wrong. Like we're all
100%. I'm not
beings.
saying if it's mutual and you two want to do the
well, he's not talking about doing something vile. Yeah, he wants to meet her. Like, just to clarify,
meet in very
he
large
wants to
bold
meet her.
quotes. Yes, MEET is what I think I'm hearing.
We're
but I think he
discussing
wants
health
to-
care. We're going to test her limits on reproductive health. All right. Thanks, Anthony.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Somebody said roll her on carpet and she'll be safe. That's not way off. Hezzy helps his back. L caller. Anthony took a L. Sorry, Anthony. Hezzy, welcome.
Yep, I heard you needed a therapist. I came as quickly as I could.
You have more than 30 seconds. What's the diagnosis here, Doc?
Well, I think you need to think about, is it because she's a good/bad girl?
No, I have no idea. I have no idea what it is. I'm being talked out of it as we speak.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, she
I'm
looked like
thinking
she was having a good time at Beetlejuice.
I think you need to do some more early childhood trauma work.
Yes, well, that's duh. Every
Yeah.
Exactly what I told him.
Yeah, because, I think you need to grow past that.
Okay.
Ew.
Okay, I can do that. So far, every single day that I've woke up wanting to date Lauren Boebert, I haven't. So I'm doing a great
see,
job.
that's good.
Yeah.
Because, I am also in Colorado, and I would probably make sure that didn't happen.
Well, you guys can't even keep her out of Congress. You didn't even keep her out of Congress, Hezzy.
Hey, that's not my. I don't get to vote in that district.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Because if I got to vote over there, way over there, that's like Banjo, like Deliverance area up there.
That's crazy that she still almost lost in Banjo Deliverance area. Yeah, that's the other thing. If she loses, I don't want to date a loser. That's a good point.
See, there you
Yeah.
go.
Then I might.
She's not even. They're gonna primary her. She's probably not even gonna make it to the election to lose.
That's a good
It's not
point.
looking
She's gonna
good
be
for Bobo.
It is
Yeah.
true. The window of peak Bobo is ending. Whatever her peak is, she's in it right now, and peak Bobo ends in November, probably, right? Next November. It's a
I
limited
think it also
window.
has to do. You were raised in like a fervently religious society, cult, if you will, and like that is the like the forbidden fruit. Like Lauren Boebert
Yeah.
represents the forbidden fruit. I mean, I think
right.
that's what it is because I mean,
That-
like just going to university in a place that was extremely Mormon and watching like the return missionaries, like they wanted to go out with like people who were sexually free, but then would feel unrelenting shame afterwards. So I think this
Right.
is very on brand for you.
Well, what do we say to the?
Yep, she's the
there's-
type of.
Well, what do we say to the
She's
people
the
who
type
are
of
telling me I
girl
can
that the
change her?
church lady- No,
There are
oh,
those advocating
God.
I can change her.
No, no, you are not gonna fix her.
Well, I'm just saying.
No.
He wants to
this is-
fix her. Oh,
This is
good
why we're
Lord.
doing this. We're getting all the
Oh,
ideas
good
out
God.
there.
There's so many glaring problems here. Oh God, sweet Jesus!
Yeah,
Call
I
your
hear you.
therapist after.
All right, I'll call you after this. All right. Okay, see ya. We have a Whisper claims to have the answer. Yeah, this is gonna be it. Sorry for everybody waiting in the box. I'm sorry. I'm out of time now.
All right.
Whisper has the
Here's-
fun.
Here's your answer. So, same scenario as the Marjorie Taylor Greene.
You hang your sunglasses like that from your visor?
Depends on the day.
What if you hit a bump?
It doesn't matter right now.
It's fucking chaos, man.
Listen, quit trying to take up. I'm reclaiming my time.
That's our life.
Reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my
That's
time.
true. That's true.
So anyway, same scenario as the Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert thing, but this time it's Lauren Boebert and Dana Loesch.
And they're fighting?
Yeah.
I'm probably just watching the fight. I don't know.
Either way, you win.
That wasn't the solution. This solution wasn't that good, but I'm not.
Is it
I've
really
already
good,
burned.
though?
I've already burned enough bridges today. I can't go down the Dana Loesch route on the same day.
Yeah, you
I don't
can.
know if I don't know if she's crazy enough. I don't know anything about her. I just saw her. I need. Listen, you know me. I can't. I have to date insane people. It's for whatever reason that's all I can date. So
All you
but
need
we're
is
working
1
on
hour
it.
of a podcast, and you will be convinced.
Okay, that's what
1
I'm
hour
doing
of a
today.
podcast. You're
I've got
good.
Dana Loesch's podcast coming up. All right.
Dude.
Bye, Whispers. Both Whispers. All right, Felice. I apologize. I apologize for ending it that way for you. Are you doing okay? You're muted.
The public shaming was probably good for you. Like listen, I see you're such an amazing person and there's so much hope for you. Onwards and upwards. Let's not go backwards.
People are calling for Miss Julie. She's not in the box. If Miss Julie is here, I will stay a couple extra minutes for Miss Julie, but I did not see Miss Julie in the box. Is Miss Julie here?
Well,
listen,
we'll be back at 7 p.m. for the debate tonight. So this is not the last you'll see of us.
I was 50-50 on Bobo earlier. I'm now 60-40. I'm not going to tell you which direction.
I was I was like, I know you, so now it's like now you're gonna
No, I'm
try to make this
60%.
happen.
I'm now 60% leaning against if Bobo showed up on Bumble.
No,
if I'd be
because
like,
when
"What's
you
up?"
do things, you'll do it in secret. You won't even. It's not even gonna be a matter of like this is gonna be something.
I'll tell you after though.
I know.
I'll tell you after.
I know you will.
Yeah.
I know you will.
Right.
You're more of a ask for forgiveness, not permission
That's
type
the way
of
it goes.
guy.
All right, I didn't see Miss Julie. That's it for us. We'll be back tonight at 7 p.m. on YouTube. If you're not following our YouTube channel, please do so now or later, or we'll put up a link. If you're not in the Discord, you want an invite, send myself or Felice. She doesn't know how to do it. Don't send Felice the message.
I don't.
Jen
don't send
or
me.
Whisper. We will get you an invite to the Discord. But we'll be here tonight watching Ron DeSantis just trot on up there and do his very best. And I will see. Yeah, there is a YouTube. It's in. Check my bio. Link's in there. There's a link tree. The YouTube link is in there. I repost these every day except for yesterday's, which I forgot to post. But yesterday's will be up, and
rough
then this one will
week.
be up, and then we'll be there tonight. And Felice, thank you.
No, a pleasure.